Hi, hi, hi. Okay, I'm the only one here for now. So I'm going to wait for people to start rolling in. Hi, I see two people. Hi, are here already. Welcome, guys. Good evening, everyone. So I'm just going to wait a little bit for more people to join us, and then we are going to kick off the conversation immediately. So I hope you guys have been having like an amazing day. Hi, hi, Sky Delight. Thank you for joining us. Hi, Luri. Hi, everyone. Welcome and welcome to the chat. Welcome to the live. Hi, Darius. Hi, Maxwell. Hi, Michael. Pete. Nice to meet each and every one of you. Thank you for joining. Okay, so I think we can start a conversation now, right? Um, hi, sis. Chanel says, but we are the animals, right? Yeah, that's what their narrative says. Yes, but very quickly, let's get into this conversation. First of all, I want to give out massive trigger warning. Very massive trigger warning. As you guys could tell from the thumbnail and the title of this video, we already know why we're here and what we're going to be talking about, right? So I did blur out the images, just because it's very graphic, right? And we want to make sure that this video can stay up as well because we know how YouTube be, right? So, but without further ado, let's get right into the conversation. Hi, Mrs. J. Thank you for joining us, right? So I was just going about my day today, like I go about my day every other day, and I got this email, right, from a sister named Janice. And she had these images attached to the email that she sent, and she was like, "Oh, if I really think this is something that we should talk about on the channel, right?" And the images of pictures, screen grabs from a Instagram page. And this Instagram page is called Oduni Fair History. Now, this is um a page on Instagram that shares African history, Black history, and just like, news from across Africa and I believe the diaspora as well. I've checked out their page and yeah, so that's what they do on their page, right? And that's where this story we're going to be looking into today is from. So I'm going to put the pictures up so everybody can see. Oh, I think someone was correcting me here. Only Rex Satori Morningstar. Epigenetics is the wrong word. It's eugenics. Okay. I use both words interchangeably. Well, I'm wrong here, but yes, I'm open to correction. I'm going to check the meaning of like the difference, right, and make appropriate corrections if need be after we're done with the live because I can't make that correction now. We're already on here. But thank you for bringing that to my attention, Morning Star. I appreciate the corrections. Right, I'll look it out, check it out when I'm done. So I'm going to be putting the pictures. I made a slide of it. It's blurred out again, trigger warning, right, on the screen so we all can see the pictures while we have these conversations. But I didn't blur it out too much so you can still see what is on there. Okay. So right now we have the slide going and there's supposed to be a pause button somewhere. Why can't I? Uh, uh. So, as you guys can see, the very first picture you have a picture of I cannot figure out how to pause. This is a F up on my part here, but you can see as it's sliding through. The very first picture is a picture of the man, oh sorry, I said the man, the chocolate man figure that they made, and it's like the chocolate man figure sleeping on the stomach, right? And then the next one is you can see the legs there and everything. The next one is, of the head of this chocolate man figure, and then followed by again the chocolate man figure on the stomach, and then they are reaching in, taking parts of it, reaching to the head and to the back. I'm sorry, to the lower back, the bum region. And then the last one, I believe it's of the chocolate man figure decapitated, right? So the head was detached from the body, and yeah. So that's what these images look like. And I'm so sorry, I didn't know I will not be able to be posting this video, this slide I made. Um, this won't happen again. And then the caption for the post, right? I want to read the caption so we have like the everything that has to do with how the post was on the Instagram page. Again, it's from Odun Odunife History on Instagram. And this is the caption. And this caption reads, I'm going to read it out for everyone so we all can see what's being written here, or hear what's being written here, right? So it's trigger warning. They couldn't have used white chocolate, question mark. Who thought this was a good idea? So many layers of diabolical dysfunction. I agree 100%. Notice they went for the head and genitalia first. I noticed that as well, but I don't know if I would say from that picture that it was like direct to the genitalia, but it's definitely very weird that the first part that they choose to go to. I mean, the entire thing is weird, right? Like making a chocolate in the form of a human being. That's something that's messed up. Like, why would anybody want to eat that? Like, I cannot wrap my head around the idea of whatever this is. Like, why would anybody want to make chocolate in the form of a human being and then want to eat it? It's giving like you want to practice cannibalism, but you can't. It's like you can't really do that. So let's make it seem like we're eating chocolate. Like it's giving some kind of like the F word, some kind of like, fetish, or I don't know, kinks, something crazy. Like the whole, I don't even know what to call it. Like the whole thing is crazy. Because why? Like, and the Belgium hand chocolate comes to mind as well. Like it's very similar to what they do in Belgium with the hand chocolate. And this hand chocolate thing, started very quickly now. Taking a quick pause from reading the caption, right, of these pictures on Instagram. um this comes to mind. Like this came to mind when I read the email with this content. The entire thing they do in Belgium, where they make chocolates in the hand of, or in the shape of a hand. And this whole thing in Belgium started when, Leopold was doing what he was doing in the Congo, right? When they were cutting off hands of Congolese men, women, and children. And they started making hands over there in Belgium to like celebrate these acts that they were doing in the Congo. Right. So over here on the screen, you can see here Congolese man, right? I blur the image again because it's very graphic, and YouTube. Right. Over here, you see the very first picture on top left, right? There's the white man there behind the colonizer, and the Congolese men here. One of them is holding a hand that was cut off. That's what I blurred off there in the picture, right? And over there, to directly under that picture, you see another white man holding up the arm of a Congolese man that had prior before be cut off, right? And to the left, you see the chocolate hands that they make in Belgium. These chocolate hands was in like celebration of what was going on over there in Congo, right? So they started making these to, to go with the vibe, basically. That's what this insanity that present day suppose post-colonial, post slavery white people are doing, right? That's what these people are doing. It's the same thing. These people is the exact same thing that they are doing. These ones. But let's go back to the caption that I was reading. Um, excuse me. Everybody, including me, should read The Delectable Negro. That's a book I've heard so much about until date. I still haven't started. I definitely would be reading that book. I just have to, finish on the ones that I've been reading. Human consumption and homoeroticism within US slave culture by Vincent Woodard, because we need an explanation for this. Some say this is art imitating life. Makes you wonder where the inspiration came for this art. It's a well-known historical fact that enslavers feasted on the bodies of those they enslaved. Epigenetics much. If there was an alternate universe where slavery was still legal, many Oyibo people, I'm guessing this person is Nigerian, right? Oyibo in Nigeria means white. But then depending on the context, it could also mean like a light-skinned person, light-skinned black person, right? But in this context here, this person meant white person. So many white people would see, oh, am I reading this wrong? Many white people would sell their all to purchase a time machine to transport themselves there. So to make this whole thing make um sense, let me read it again. If there was an alternate universe where slavery was still okay, still legal, rather, sorry. Many white people would sell their all to purchase a time machine to transport themselves there. So this is all that there is to, what I got today. And I was thinking I was going to make a video on this, but I just thought, instead of doing that, why don't I bring it on here so we can have a gist on it instead? Because like I've said before, lives are something I want to be doing more often. But back to the conversation, right? It's just very interesting to me sometimes the things that I see. I mean, scary, yes. Do I get shocked? No, but that don't make these activities less scary. If you go back and you look at the picture slide I put up, right, you would see that in the pictures these folks are smiling, they are reaching out like this thing is normal, and it's just them folks there. They are holding their cameras up, taking pictures, and they are reaching out to the chocolates in man form that they made, and they want to eat it. Like, how I don't even know. I don't know, like, how you can be there and comfortable, because looking at that picture was uncomfortable for me. The person who posted this, or the page that had this up and posted this on Instagram, said, why couldn't they have used white chocolate? That's a very, very good point that this person brought up. I mean, still, if I saw them eating a chocolate made in the form of a person, and this that is white, it still will be weird to me. But of course, me being a black person watching this is even more weird, because even if it's white chocolates that they use, I'm like, why do they think this is okay to do? Like, that don't seem okay. Makes me very uncomfortable, right? But for them to use a black chocolate, all of them there being white, they just somehow decide that it's a white chocolate, I'm sorry, a black chocolate that they would use. It's just very telling. It's just something that, like, so much is going on in my head right now, that I really am struggling to find the right words to to express myself here because it's just a lot. And then it has me wondering, well, like, what these people's um what is the obsession really with folks making chocolates in the form of a person, taking the form of a person, taking the color of black people, right? And it's not only them white folks that have weird chocolates cultures like this, right? There is this that the Arab people make. I found out about this particular candy a couple of years back, and they call this candy in the Arab world Ras El Abid. Basically translates to a head of a slave. That's what this candy is called in the Arab world. Like, I cannot understand how exactly it is that people are naming things that they consume after a group of people that they don't like. Like, you are so ready to desist. You hate these people, but something that you take into your body, you name it after the group of people that you don't like, and the group of people that you call a slave. Like, it's just weird. It's crazy. And then you have the Arabs doing something like this. Then you have them white folks doing this. You have them doing this, and you have them doing this. Where is it? Like, this thing has my brain frying. It has my brain frying for real. Because none of them there thought this was, maybe they should not be doing this. None of them. None of them thought this is probably not okay. None of them. That's messed up. That's messed up. And when you look into history, for those who have, like, or for those who know of this, you hear about how in the past them folks used to go unearth the mummies, and they cook them, they use them to make soups and do all sorts of things. They eat them, use them to make medicines, because they believe the mummies have like certain abilities to cure sickness and to make them strong and make them into like superhumans, and all of these like things that they believed, superpowers that they can get from consuming. It's just very consuming corpse, basically. Like, I swear, the way my brain they pay me trying to process all of these, like, you guys cannot understand. I'm so I'm so short of words. I have so much going in my head, but I think I probably should have taken time to digest. But I don't know if this is something I can even fully digest ever. But maybe I should have taken some time to digest this before even coming on here, because here I am, so like, mm, 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 mm. I'm going to put the I'm going to put the link in the chat now. So, you know, people who want to come up can come up, right? Because I really want to have a conversation on this. I just want to lay the foundation of what exactly is going on and what we are looking at and all of that, so we can have this gist. Because on my own here, I'm so lost of words, confused at the sickness of what this is. Mm-mm. This is obsession. This is like a sick level of obsession, a dangerous level of obsession, because this is ah. Anyways, the link is in the chat. If anybody wants to come up, please. I want to hear you guys' opinion. JT is saying they don't change. The only question is, do we change? I don't think we've changed all that much either. I don't think we've changed all that much either, but then again, it depends on, you know. But no, no, no. I don't think we've changed that much either, because when sometimes I look at some of the things we still do till this day, and I'm like, these are we're basically repeating certain mistakes that our ancestors did, that in a way got us to where we are right now, but we still see present black people making these mistakes. So which is still, keeping us in this bubble, in this situation. So we have not really changed that much either, I would say. But that's my personal opinion, right? And I think it's unfortunate that because see, you would think that after 400 years, right? You think that after 400 years, going to 500, it's almost 500 years now, exactly, almost 500 years now. You would think after such a period of time of going through all that we went through, we would have started making some very, tough decisions, very, massive changes in our character, how we navigate and how we deal with them folks. But I don't really see as much as I would think that or expect that we would have. So, but then again, I don't know. Nicole Nick Innovate says, I hope it was cake. I don't know if that will make it any better, but okay, I guess. For you, Nick Innovate, even still cake is still disgusting. Yes. Thank you for following it up with this comment, because I was like, Nick, what are you talking about? Even if it's cake, it's still messed up. But yeah, it's still disgusting whether or not it's cake. It still is. Um they used to hunt black people and eat them back in the day. Yes, they used to. The history says so. So it makes you wonder if that's what they want to do, but because they can't exactly really do it in real life, they're finding other forms to like compensate for that act, right? So now they can't exactly do that. So like, oh, we wish we could do that, but we can't do that now. So maybe we can, eat a chocolate one instead and pretend, picture that is the real thing. Because what exactly is going on? Yeah, what exactly is going on? I think that's what this is, though, because they can't do the real thing. They are finding other ways to compensate and act like they are. Mm. Nikki Novet says that will haunt me. It will haunt me too. It will haunt me too. Real Talk 88. Hi, are you there? Hello. Okay. I don't think Real Talk is available. Let's bring up Africa is King.
How you doing,
Hi,
Evie?
Africa is King.
How you doing? How you
I'm
doing,
fine. Good
Evie?
evening. How are you?
Nah, I'm doing well. You know what? I've been following you for a long, long time, and I've always been saying, stay away from the colonizers. I'm I'm calling from all the way from South Africa. I'm a black South African. We've got a
Mm-hmm.
lot of these. So maybe I missed the topic. Maybe I didn't check. Like, what's on your mind?
Oh, so you don't know what today's conversation is about? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So I just want to know, like, what's on your mind. I don't want to go off script.
Okay, so we are talking about. I don't know if you caught the thumbnail and the title, but basically, there's this picture that was posted on Instagram by this page called Odunife History, and
Okay.
it was like a picture slide of a group of white people who had baked, I don't know, made these chocolates in the form of a black
Mm-hmm.
man, and they gathered around
Mm,
it and they were taking pictures, smiling, giggling, and at some
mm.
point they decapitated the head of this
Okay.
chocolate man that they had made, and they, reached in and started eating, basically.
Mm.
That's what we're talking about today.
Oh, so it's just being colonized, just disrespecting. But that's what they do.
Basically,
That's what they do.
basically,
They disrespect us every day. We've only been
because
free for
because
30
why
years.
because
Yeah.
mm,
No, that's just what they do.
so I
Like I would like to you, my friend. Like I'm not shocked. I'm never surprised. You know. Thanks for giving me the context. At least I understand what you're saying. But that's what they do.
mm,
That's what they do. It's no shock to me. It's never a surprise. I'm never shocked. I'm never surprised. That's what they do.
but
It hurts me. What you just said really does hurt me. And when you talk about reparations, they're like, get over it. Get over it.
mm,
But they never say that to the Jews. Well, let me not use that word because they're gonna call us anti-Semitic, and I don't want to mess up your page. But it makes no
mm.
sense to me. That's just what they do. If you lived in South Africa, you'd be shocked. Every day is a struggle. It's just like what you just described happens all the time, and it sucks. And I don't like it. And I just stick to my own black people. I've got Zimbabwean friends, Nigerian friends. I just stick to my own people because that's what they do. They post pictures of us. They do crazy things. That's why we're voting for Julius Malema on the 29th of May. We want to kill the borders,
Mm.
no visa. Everybody come in, everybody go out. But I know I'm going a little bit off script, but I'm just saying, we family. We're one and the same. Me and you and everybody
Yeah.
else. It hurts me. And they confuse our anger for racism. I'm angry. I'm not racist. I'm just mad. But this is what they do. Yeah, they
But
just switch it around. Yeah. All right.
I have a question. I
What you
don't know
want to
if you
say?
have an opinion on this. Um, they
Yeah.
they, they do this, but I often wonder why do they do it on why do they do it publicly? I mean, they do it privately, but then they have pictures and videos that they find a way to post online. In a way, is it to
It's
let
not.
us know, like, what do you think that's about? Because they could have done this in private. Not saying it's okay for them to do it, but they are going to do what they want to do anyway. So, but why publicize it is something I cannot help but wonder.
I think, Evie, they do it publicly because they were never punished. We never punished them in South Africa. They were never punished in Europe, Australia, New Zealand. They were never punished. So that's why they feel like we're lower than dirt. They can do whatever, say whatever. You know, go to YouTube right now. Go watch the YouTube shorts. You can say nigger, you can say kafir, but you can never call a Jew a rat. So they feel emboldened because they've never been punished. That is the difference. They've never been punished. So they feel like, yeah, those black people are nothing. I can say whatever I want to say. I can do whatever I want. And when we tell them in South Africa, they're different. They're not the same everywhere they go, but they feel like they don't care. They just don't care because they're like, "What you gonna do?" you know, that's the attitude. It's like, "What you gonna do?" At the end of the day, what you gonna do? And
Mm.
then when we fight them, like I'm an EFF member. I love President Julius Malema. I follow that party. I'm part of the party. So we do it. When we do it, they're like, "Oh, you're racist." Nah, I'm racist. So they feel like, Evie, like, what you gonna do? That's why they do what they do. Basically, it's that. What you're gonna
Thank you very much, brother. I really appreciate you coming up and joining us for this conversation.
do? Yes, ma'am.
Thank
I
you.
love you,
Thank you.
Evie. Please keep continuing. Keep doing what you're doing. I support you every day, all day. South Africa
Thank you.
loves you. All my friends, we watch you. we watch you. Like, really. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. I
No.
appreciate this support. Thank you very much. And thank you for your contribution as well. Africa is king. Now I'm going to bring up Anthony McPhail. Please, I'm sorry if I pronounced that correctly. You let me know, Mr. Anthony. Hi. Good evening.
Hey, how you doing, Ivy? You doing fine?
I'm fine. Thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Yeah, it's McPhail. It's McPhail. Yeah,
McPhail.
McPhail. Like you fell down, McPhail. Yeah.
Okay, McPhail.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay.
Uh,
Thank you. Thank you.
okay. Hey, I kind of agree with some of what the brother just said, man. It's a lack of respect for our humanity as African people. You got
Mm,
okay. Let me put it like this. Okay, African people have always been known for their great humanity. We kind of stranger. You know what I'm saying? We accept everybody. Now, on the flip side of that, European people, going back to their early origin, European people's origin is that of I mean, the only way I can put it, they have a psychopathic mentality. You know what I'm saying? From the time they was in all of that ice, during the ice age, and it was like every man for himself, and and you had to kill, and you had to kill, to survive. You know what I'm saying? It's a good book called by Dr. Bobby Wright called The Psychopathic Nation Personality. You ought to check that book out. It's this sister named Dr. Patricia Newton. She died a few years ago, and she go in depth about white psychology. You know what I'm saying? And it's just it's really their nature. It's the nature of the European man and woman. It's the nature to be bloody and brutal. You know what I'm saying? From way a long time ago. That's why they go everywhere and take everything from everybody. You know what I'm saying? It's just in their nature to take. It's just like it's in our nature as African people to share with people. If we got a lot, we don't say, in African society, we don't like it's one man say, oh, all of this land right, this is all mine and everything. We're communal people. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
No, we should. No, we had that philosophy of Ubuntu, but it's really their nature, to be like that. To take people's stuff. Like you were saying about the symbolism. I'll get the symbolism of that of them sitting around eating the chocolate bar. Eating the chocolate bar in the form of an African person. You know what I'm saying? It's like it made me think about the Congo, about the Belgian Congo and the Congo, with King Leopold now. What
mm,
they did to our people in the Congo. How they consume, how they just drain the Congo of all of the resources they can. And even today, it's just like, I mean, just that whole picture, that image of just consuming Africa of everything and just taking everything from Africa. You know what I'm saying? Just taking, just raping. For 500 years, what they done raped Africa of our people, of the people, of the resources and of everything that they can. And it's just it's really it's in their DNA. I know that will sound hard for some people. It's in their DNA. It really is, man. I mean, by nature, Europeans, white people are psychopaths. Now it don't always work out like just you see an average white person walking down the street and want to kill you. But I'm saying, but on the right circumstance, he wouldn't mind seeing you get killed. You know what I'm saying? It's in their it's encoded in their mentality from a long time ago. And so when I see something like that, I wouldn't be surprised. You ever heard of a book called The Delectable Negro?
Yes, I have, but I'm yet to read it.
Yeah, I mean, it's deep too. But check that book out called The Delectable Negro. You know what I'm saying? And read that if you whenever you get time and a chance to read this pamphlet by Dr. Bobby E. Wright. It's called The Psychopathic Racial Personality. It's about
Mm,
35 pages long. It's called The Psychopathic Racial Personality. Check that out, and he'll break down a lot of stuff for you. And read about this book called Urugu by Dr. Marimba Ani. Have you heard of that one?
okay. No, I haven't heard of that one.
It's called Urugu. It is by Dr. Marimba Ani. Just check that book out. Urugu. Urugu is spelled Yurugu. Urugu.
Urugu. Okay.
Yeah. And her name is Marimba Ani. Marimba spelled Marimba and Ani. Ani. And I get off, Babbitt. I get off. I'll let somebody else talk.
Okay.
All right. Take it
Thank
easy,
you.
sister. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate your contribution. Urugu by Dr. Marimba Ani. Okay. Um So I wanted to respond to Sky Delight before I quickly bring Mr. Barbados in. You are asking for the link to the post. Personally, I don't have the link to the post. The post was sent to me by a sister here. She wanted us to talk about it. She wanted me to bring it on here. So I received the email today, and yeah, that's why we're having this conversation now. So I went on the page as well, but I could not find the post. I don't know if it was taken down or if it's an old post and so it's buried down somewhere down on the post, because I did try to look for it but I could not find it. And I did not really get much information on it. So this is all I have. If I had the link, I would have dropped it. But I'll still take my time though to maybe go back to the page and scroll a little bit more. If I come by the link, I will be dropping it in the description of this video when I post it to my YouTube, because I'm going to leave this video up as well as a regular like YouTube video live guinea in that section there on YouTube. So yeah, but I'll check and I'll have the link posted up if I have it, if I can find it. That's it. So now I'm going to be bringing up Mr. Barbados up.
Country Barbados, but that's not my name. I especially in the country.
Yes, sir. Okay. Thank you
How you
for
doing,
letting us.
young? How you doing, young lady? I was following you for years. I'm from the Caribbean, and I and many
Thank you.
others. I'm, I and many others. I really appreciate you, man. You're above so many young people today. If
Thank
you're
you.
if you're online, you know, um, issues about Africa. That it's amazing that we don't have more of you out there doing this. I know there's a lot of young people out there that just want to show off the stupidity, that I don't appreciate. But we do appreciate you.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you as well. Thank you for your support.
The question is, all of that chocolate that those, if I could say, call them criminals, were using, did they get it from Africa,
Yeah, they do.
the Congo? They get it from Ghana, which is amazing, right? So it just,
Mm,
excuse me, it just show you that they come into Africa, take our products, and then turn it into that, you know, cannibalism, if you want to call it that. Uh, there should be a lot more of African YouTubers outraged over this. But as you said, the YouTubers out there, they're just going wild. They're not doing the things to help make Africa better. Because if they were doing the things to help make Africa better, this criminal activity that I call it, these guys, you know, did will not be allowed. I remember many years ago when Idi Amin said that the Indians and the Jews are criminals, and I believe him. You know, people just come to Africa and just keep exploiting Africa over and over, and a lot of us sit back and don't do nothing. I agree with the guy from South Africa. We need some more Julius, Malema, because I will hope that if he did win in May, he perform as you speak. We just have a new guy here, a young guy, 44 years old in Senegal. He's already getting ready to help kick the French out of West Africa,
Mm.
and we need some more of these younger people coming out and changing the status quo. But I will hope that more younger people get off the YouTube doing junk and start doing what you are doing, help bringing out all these insa- excuse me, insane activities that keep going on in Africa. And one more thing I will say, I gotta blame a lot of our black people too. We allow it. We see a lot of things and we do not speak out. Chinese are out there destroying the waterways, putting cyanide in the water, looking for gold. All that stuff need to be reported. That is killing off the future of Africa. Indians still in Liberia and those places exploiting those countries. It's sad, but I appreciate you a lot, to be upfront still. And stay strong. Stay strong.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you
We
too
we
very much
we older
for.
generation, as you can see my beard, I'm an older dude. We are behind you. We are with you 100%.
Thank
So
you. Thank you, sir.
after anybody mess with you, we got your back, okay?
Thank you, sir.
All right, you stay strong, sis.
You too.
All right, one love.
Bye. Okay. So again, the link is in the chat if anybody wants to come up. I think I'll be staying for just an hour this time. So if you want to join the conversation quickly, um, make sure you just click on the link so you can join up. Right now we have Lil D up. Hi, Lil D. Are you there? We can't hear you. You are
All right,
muted. Okay.
you can't hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you
I saw
now.
the YouTube live, and I was like, maybe you make a chocolate out of like, yeah. I don't know. It's just weird. I don't like it,
It
but it don't matter though, cause they gonna be gone.
come again.
They gonna be out in a couple years though.
Hello, are you there, Lil D?
I don't hate black women.
So
How
is
do I
there?
leave?
Oh, you are done.
Yeah,
Okay, that was all you wanted to contribute. Oh, that's fine. Thank you very much for coming up.
you're welcome.
We appreciate you. Thank you. Have a lovely day. Yeah, Lil D was very brief and straight to his point. So now I'm going to bring in up Abzed. Abzed, are you there? Hello. Hi, Maker Strong. Thank you for joining us. I see you. I don't think Abzed is here. Okay. Anyways, guys, I don't know. I think this live is going to be my shortest live ever. I think it's going to be my shortest live ever because but again, like I said, it's an hour. We still have time. So if you want to come up and add your 2 cents before I leave, that'll be nice. But if no one else wants to come up, then I guess I'll have to call it a night and call it a live. I don't know. I'm just going to wait a little bit. For those who are just joining us, I don't know, maybe I should give a little bit of a recap. So there is this or there was, I don't know when this happened exactly, but there was this event, party. I don't even know what to call this. And basically, a couple white people were around this table where they had these chocolates made in the form of a man, a black man. And because this chocolate, is brown, they specifically use brown chocolate. They could have used white chocolate, but no, they went for the brown chocolate. So this chocolate came out, looking like a black man, basically. So they ate from it, and that they took pictures while smiling and everything, and it was very weird. And a sister sent me this via email, and that's what we're looking at today. Noel is asking, why is it that our black African people, let me bring the comments on the screen, why is it that our black African people could be brave when it is junk, but now that the opportunity is here to speak out, no one wants to talk? This is Africa ongoing madness. um I don't know if I entirely understand the comment. Are you saying in regards to this particular conversation we're having now, or generally, Noel? And the junk part is, I don't understand. Maybe why is it that our black African people could be brave when it is junk? What's junk? I'm confused. Maybe if you can clarify again in another comment, Noel, that would be very much appreciated. I will bring Super Pace up now. Hello, Super Pace, are you there?
Yes, I am. Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Good evening. How are you?
Good evening. I'm fine, thank you. Thank you for having me. How are you?
Thanks you coming up. Thank you.
Good. So I did watch the video. It's something to see.
Hmm.
It was quite disturbing. But I wasn't surprised. It's not surprising because I live in the West, and there's a history where they take our hair, they take our skin, small body parts, and ingest it. So when I see this is just a continuation of what happened in the past, but now they could express the same thing, but in the form of chocolate. It doesn't make it any more weird and bizarre, but I was not surprised when I saw that. It's quite disturbing that someone would see it necessary to do that. Knowing history, knowing what happened hundreds of years ago, and you still want to perpetrate the behavior, but in another way. I can't understand it. We will never understand it, but I'm not surprised.
And the crazy part is that something like this is not even illegal.
No, it's not. Because if there was a country in Africa or in the Caribbean and we did this, it would make the news everywhere. people would be outraged. People would be like, what is going on? What is the fantasy? What is the obsession with wanting to eat one race or another? They'll make a whole scene. But everybody was like, oh, it's just chocolate. But you made the chocolate in the image of black people. And then you're cutting it up and eating it. It's in a sense real ritualistic, and they know what they're doing. It's to garner energy. Because in, when a lot of black people saw it, they were like upset and outraged. That energy feeds them. It does. And they absorb the energy, they take it in, they feed off of it. And I'm like, okay, I will not give this video any clout, give it any attention. I will speak on it to my friends and people who will engage in a conversation that understand that this is not new. This is not new where this is coming from. It's it's like a part of it's like deep in certain culture to think that this is okay. And it's not okay. But it's just chocolate. We're just eating chocolate. Yeah, you make chocolate of rabbits, of eggs, of other things, and eat it. That's okay. But in the image of a human being, and I think in one of the video they were cutting it up and the chocolate was screaming, like, come on, is everything okay upstairs? It's weird, but again, as I said, I wasn't surprised when I saw that video.
Wait, Ma, are you saying like are you speaking of another video entirely, like one where the chocolates they were cutting up could speak or make a sound?
Yeah, so it's like it's all connected. That video plus this one, it is similar. It has a similar je ne sais pas quoi about it. It has this. It's like a pattern. A chocolate that looks like us, chocolate that look like people, chocolate that are crying. Like, what's the obsession? Hand chocolate. There's another video where they had hands chocolate, and you know what that symbolized? That has a deep and brutal history with our people in Congo.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it is, there's a pattern. You will see it in different form. One video it's in this form, in another video it's another form, but at the end it's the same ideology that they have. It's the obsession with consuming. One way or another they need to consume us. I don't get it, but they know why though. They know why. We find it strange, but they know why they're doing it. They're not going to tell us outright, but they understand what they're doing and why they're doing it. Because
You
you
know, I
know,
was watching the
hmm
this point you brought up now is making me remember a video I saw. I think sometime last year on TikTok. It was this sister, a South Sudanese sister, that was speaking about how they pull from black people's essence basically,
hmm
and
hmm
she used a particular clip of this model. I believe the model was Anouk Adet. So sorry if I pronounced her name incorrectly, but it's a South Sudanese model as well.
hmm
And she was in this room modeling, doing her job. And she's very beautiful, beautiful dark skin lady. And they were just like the majority, if not like the only ones in the room, said, but it was just a majority white folk, right?
hmm
And when she entered, when someone with like this crazy charisma walks in, like She calls for every attention in the room, like lustfully crazy intense,
Mm-hmm.
and it was giving, the energy there was like intense.
It
Watching it
shifts.
swing, it shifts. Yeah, that's the word.
The energy
And
shift.
yes, and this South Sudanese lady, she's a TikToker, right? She makes videos on TikTok. She was saying this right here is the reason why she would never be a model. Because look at how the presence of this one black lady just changed the entire room. She said she
Mm-hmm.
was saying in the video that they feed off of this energy. She would never give her energy to these people in this way. She saves her energy for herself and her people, basically.
Exactly. I'm gonna I'm gonna give you a picture.
Mm,
A random black girl is walking down the street. Nobody would notice her. She's dressed just like everybody else in a jeans and a t-shirt. The
mm.
moment, the moment she will put her hair in afro, the energy will shift.
Yes,
The moment she
yes,
will adorn herself with um ornaments or necklace of any African culture, the energy shifts. Anytime you will ordain yourself in your original garment and keep your form as natural as possible, the
mhm.
energy around you will shift. You put a jeans and t-shirt and they will not notice you. But you
Yes.
go back into your natural state, your
From
original form with your traditional, you will not be able to have them take their eyes off. It just immediate it shifts and it changes because the original is the same.
I have
Once we
noticed
are
that
in
as well.
once
Especially those sisters on TikTok who make videos like this, like in their African, true African
yes,
form, their
yes.
Afro, the attention they get, you can feel it in the video
It
when they're
just
walking
changed.
around. It
It just
changes.
their eyes popped out. Whatever they were doing immediately ceased to exist, and their attention is on you. You walk
Hmm.
down the street with a lace front wig and the latest hairdo, and nobody will see you. Strip all of that and go to your original African beautiful existence, and they cannot help but to stop and acknowledge the shift that your present commands.
Now it makes you wonder when we think about, now we are, I know we've digressed a little bit, but I'm enjoying this conversation. I really have to say, it makes you wonder when you think about how black hair has been demonized for centuries. That just may be the reason, or one of the reasons right there, because it's just too much what it does and they hate it. Because like I said, I referenced those videos from TikTok, right, where you see sisters who make content like that. They dress with their afro out and they wear nice prints. Sometimes they don't wear African prints, but just wearing like a regular modern day clothing, right, in the sense of these present wears. And just that they have their afro out, that's it. Or they have their hair in bantus, that's it. And they're walking on the streets and everybody cannot help but take a second look. Who is that? Who is that? Who is that? It makes me wonder, could it be that the fact that our presence, where we are in our natural form and in our true essence like that, the attention that we pull when we look like that is something that they hate. I mean, it's there because they don't pull it like that. If we want to be for real, in their natural form, nobody's taking multiple turns when they walk by just because. But when you see a black woman do it, everybody cannot, all of them cannot help but, take second, third, fourth looks, even walk up and want to take a pictures and say hi and whatnot. So I'm thinking, could it be that energy, because they know they cannot get it, because they know it's not something that they can pull off, like black women just seem to pull it off by just existing, is one reason why black hair is so demonized. Because you know, just having that on your head, that crown like that, you call all the attention in the room. But I don't know if you have something you want to add to that, or if there's anything you've noticed on your own. Hello, Super Pace, are you there? Did I lose her? Oh my goodness, what happened? I think I lost her. I was enjoying the conversation. Oh my days. Hopefully she'll come back up though. Okay, she's back. Yes. See, I was almost crying thinking I've lost you. We can see you, but we can't hear you. Oh, okay. Maybe you should try going out and coming back in. Let's see. I'm going to take you out, then I'll put the link in the chat right now. Just click on it and I'll bring you back up immediately. I need to learn how to pin this link because, my goodness. But very quickly, I want to say thank you to my golden life. Thank you very much. This is always supporting me whenever I go live. I really appreciate you. She says, thanks for your good work, EVA. Thank you, sis, for your support. This kind of tomfoolery has got to be constantly exposed. I don't think many of us believe this kind of barbaric desire to consume Black people is real. Yeah, I don't think so too. That's why, you know, things like this needs to be highlighted, like you said, so that for those of us who don't know that crazy things like this are happening. Yeah, this is this is cannibalism, but in, different from, they can't do the real thing. They can't do the real thing. So I guess they are doing what's the closest to it in the form that they can present day allowed to. Yeah, that's definitely what it is. Um, is she back? Yes, she's back. Hi, sis. Oh, I still. Oh, am I the only one? Am I the only one? Please, if you can hear her, let me know in the chat. NASA shot a rocket at the eclipse. There was an eclipse. This is new news to me. Oh, I have no idea about that. Okay, she's mute. They can't hear her either. Okay, I'm going to put Niger to Niger for now. And sis, again, whenever I'm going to bring you up again when I see you. The link again is in the chat. Because this conversation, my goodness, we must continue it. Hi to Niger.
Yeah, thanks for having me. EVA, is it EVA? I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Um,
It's EVA.
EVA, a do name now. Um,
Yes.
nice one, nice one. Um, thank you. Like everyone has been saying, for all the work you have been doing. I've been observing, and I've actually used some of your clips for some of our discussions, because I
Okay.
do have some discussions too about these things. Um, yeah, regarding the video, that's the main topic about the chocolate. Um,
Mm,
they seem to be quite fascinated with us for some. I don't even understand it sometimes. Maybe because we are their parent race or something like that. Who knows? Um, but however, I'm of the opinion these days that racism is for the weak. That's is only directed towards the weak people, because
mm,
they were once racist towards the Chinese, but these days you don't see them messing about with the Chinese anymore. And even Indians, they are beginning to respect Indians. So I feel like we have not. Our problem is more inward. We need to take care of ourselves. Um,
mm-hmm,
if a parent has a child, nobody needs to tell that parent that they need to care for their child. but our leaders and maybe even our societies, they seem to be asleep to their responsibility to protect themselves and ensure they have their own place in this world. Um, my suspicion of why this is happening is because of the way we gained the colonial era, that's as we know it, ended. Because there was no break. It was more of a continuity, really. Um, because after the slavery and colonization, they handed over power to our elite class. Remember, those elite class were still the ones that sold our people into slavery. And then they had about 3 to 4 generations to groom them, to serve them, and then handed power to them. And these leaders, if you look at how they behave like we are an extension of the Western powers. They don't see us as an independent people. Almost universally in the sub-Saharan Africa, they behave the same way. Um, if you look at the countries that don't behave like that, like Zimbabwe and South Africa, they are the ones that really fought the colonizers when they were around, and they fought for their independence, got it, and then they were a little bit more aggressive towards them. The same thing with Algeria, but we didn't. We just basically negotiated with them, and they gave us the keys, and we thought we are free, but in reality, our leaders are serving them. Um, one thing I saw recently that even indicates this is if you look at the governor's house in Kaduna when they rescued the children recently, they
Mm.
had the list of governors on the wall, and it continued onto the colonial period. They had white men on the wall
On the
as
wall,
governor. Yeah. So, and I've always said that our leaders are caretakers. They are not ruling us as a free people.
of course.
And if they are not doing that as a free people, this is why we are where we are. It's at the core of our problem. Because Fela saw this a long time ago when he sang about it, that we are free, but we've not freed ourselves. Um, our people haven't broken out of the control of outsiders. And that is at the core of our problem. In a way, this is one of the reasons why I appreciate your videos that you upload, because you tend to go to the core of the problem, not necessarily worrying about the people too much. The video you made about us not having our own language, the one you made about our hair, those things are very important because it's in pointing to the fact that we ourselves haven't asked ourselves what we truly want from this world. Um, you know how you have, in Nigeria they call them model and stuff like that. You have them at home. They don't pay the rent. They don't pay for security. They don't pay for anything. They just serve. And that's how our nations are. We just serve. We are there to serve. Was it not Tinubu that said the other day, the jackpot thing that we are doing, that it's not a problem, that the people should go, that if they will train more, that if they need more people, they will supply them more people. So if your president can be able to say that in 2024, and that Tinubu name, Madam Tinubu is, there's a connection to it, and I feel like these people haven't woken up to their responsibilities. They train our people to go and serve other people. They don't train our people to develop their country and for us to actually be a free people, so that the Igbo people are not going to be kicking us all over the place. Do I blame Igbo people for what they are doing? Why? Why should I blame them? They are doing what they are doing for their people. They don't care about us. It's not their responsibility to care for us. If anything, we should be like them, care for our own people first. Because if we were caring for our own people, we won't be in this mess. We see, EVA, our people, their sin is that we didn't value life. We were selling human beings like donkeys. We sold them until today. The same upper class have not changed that mindset. They are willing to trade our people to go and work in America. They will be so proud. Haven't you heard about our diaspora commission? I think Abike Daberi. She's always proud about Nigerians doing very well overseas. It's like, why are you proud of them doing very well overseas? Your job is to make sure that they come back and build their country. Tap into them to build your country. But you know, they won't. And I've been complaining about it for a long time. I complain about security, security, security. But at the core of it is because our people haven't collected themselves back. They've not, it kind of separated themselves from the colonizers. Many of them call them colonial masters till today. Something that I feel sorry for Igbo children. Igbo people, they don't even know what that means anymore, and they will see a grown African man calling them masters. But that is the fact of our lives, and for us to change, this type of work you are doing is vital. And people don't like me. You can't believe how many stuff I get when I tell, some of our women, why do you like to wear this wig? Why can't you wear a wig? Even if you are wearing wig, wear an African kind of wig that makes it look like you're who you are. Is there any? Because it's costing us a lot of money. We are just giving it to Igbo people. I think Nigeria spends $1 billion importing wigs. It's like, why that wig? Do you know how much you can use it to get a private tuition for your child? They spend $1,000 buying one hair. You can use that, get private tuition, and get your child to be far more learned, not just educated, actually understand what matters to their people. So I can go on about this for ages. I've talked about a lot of all these things, this thing there before. The list is endless. It's endless. If we start talking about all the issues, all the things our people need to correct, and I think the Nigerian space, they need to hear it, because the Nigerian space, they don't hear enough of this. They don't hear enough of people like you show up on panels to talk about this type of issues. I don't know if you are willing. I don't know whether I'm sure you've heard of Dr. Damages. If you can come there for an interview, that would be good, because they have a lot of people watching, and you will see how they will come at you if you say some of the things you say sometimes. So that is what I think anyway. I feel like racism is only there for people that are weak. If we fix ourselves, all these people, they will be dancing around us, they will be dancing in our hands. Because if you look at it, we are the parent race. We are the custodians of our genetic humanity. The genetic lineage of humanity is mostly concentrated in Africa. If we fix Nigeria itself, if we go about Nigeria is the most populated country in Africa. So if you fix Nigeria, you will see how investments will be pouring in from Nigerians alone, not to mention from other groups of people. Nigeria will be so rich, and before you know it, it will spill over into the other African countries, and we will not be here. Nobody will be talking about you anymore. They will be praising us left and right. People kick on people that are weak. This is what human beings do. It's not nice, but that is just human nature. Oyibo man may be wicked, may be very, very mean when it comes to what they want to do for themselves. But is that so different from other people? The Chinese man will be less merciful, it will be more merciful. I don't think so. If the Chinese man comes to, he's going to take advantage of us. Indian man comes, oh, those ones might even be worse. Arab, oh, Jesus Christ, don't go there. So if you look at it from that point of view, you would think everybody hates us. But it's not hatred. We are one of out of the 4 great races in the world that number over 1 billion, we are one of them. And we are the only one that is not standing. The 4th leg of a stool that refused to stand. And we are creating an instability within the space. We have not taken our place. If we stand, all this nonsense goes away. And we have the capacity to stand. We have the people. Now, we as the people have one of the largest diaspora in the world, apart from Europeans. We are the next. We have over 100 million black people are all around the world. And the continent will have over 1 billion. So why are we so weak? Why is it that a country like Singapore with less than 6 million people can do more export than the entire black African countries put together? Why? Because we are that 1 billion people, over 1 billion people have not decided to get their act together and say, you know what, we have to come first now. We have to work with each other. We have to say, okay, our own, even in our own countries, in our own villages, we have to take care of ourselves. Because if you don't take care of yourself, why would anybody respect you? They will treat you like trash everywhere you go. History is like that. You cannot expect the antelope to be pleading mercy with the lion. It's not going to happen. That negotiation is not going to go well. God, in his own infinite wisdom, has decided to create the world like that. You have to balance power for power. Otherwise, the side that is not powerful will have to give way. And that is our problem. And your work that you are doing is going to help our people start waking up to this truth. A lot of people are waking up, but we need more to wake up. If we more of us wake up in Nigeria, more of us wake up in America, most of us wake up in Brazil, the way our community will be transformed, it will be faster than what the Chinese were able to accomplish in about 40 years. In 20 years, if we do it right, we will develop a lot more rapidly than the other people have done in the past. And yet the Chinese accomplished a lot in about 40 years or so. We are one of the major groups around the world, and there's more technology now. There's more communication now. So we could develop very rapidly if we just get our act together. And I believe that the work we are doing, people like you, people like me, people like anybody that wants to our people to do well, we are an important set of people. Without us, without people like us, God help us. Who is going to sort it out? Who? We have to understand the value of the work we are doing. Because if somebody was shouting into our forefathers, all these Oyibo people you are selling people to, bad idea, bad idea. It's going to come back to bite you. Stop selling your people. Use them to be manufacturing all those guns that they brought over. If somebody was shouting it to them, we will not be in this mess today. Nobody, maybe somebody did. They didn't listen to that person. But what were we going to do? We have to shout from the rooftop now. And I do see that you are very passionate about it. I see the passion that you use to deliver your messages. And we need all that energy. And we need to be working together to be pushing this message forward. Because we are all we've got. And this is our time to try to make a change. And I actually believe that in these times, there is an opportunity that has opened up. And we have to use it to break away, like the Chinese broke away, like the Indians broke away, the North Koreans broke out of the control of the West. All of them broke out of the control of the West. We tried to do that in the 60s and 70s, but we relapsed back into military rule, and none of them decided to do anything strategic. They left us weak, and then we carried on in the same vein, because our leaders are basically saboteurs. The other day I was speaking to somebody, and I told them that better a school leaver. You know how our people are educated now; they like their degrees. I said
Yes.
better is they don't play with their degrees. My degree, and all the rest. We don't play around with it. And you will be talking to somebody who will say, "Oh, my wife has got 7 degrees. This one has got 2 degrees, 5 degrees. It never ends." I was like, but with all these degrees, look at your nation.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. All these degrees, what are we doing with them?
Look at your nation. What does that tell you? Then I said, better a school leaver that is a nationalist than a professor that is a sellout with colonial mentality. It's of no use. If anything, they will use that knowledge to destroy your people.
I swear, that's powerful what you just said, Mr. Tunaija.
Believe you me, when I said it, it wasn't so funny. People were, hey God, they were turning on me. How dare you and all that. But I said, but the facts are showing this to be true. Look at the state of our nation. With all these high degrees, what have they done for you? You can't even take care of your own people. You can't take off. You need to see some of all these people. They will be in America cursing Nigeria. The nation, the land that gave you life. It didn't just give you life. It gave your forefathers life, and you are cursing it.
You know, I was speaking with a friend recently that's actually in the UK, and man was telling me that basically, long story short, it is our job, us back in Nigeria, us back in Africa, it is our job, our responsibility to change Nigeria for them that is abroad.
Yeah, you
He
see
even,
see how
he
funny
even gave
that's the
one,
behavior.
he even
Hmm.
gave one Yoruba proverb that basically translates to, those who run away from the fight live to fight another day. They are going to gather energy. So they ran away to the UK basically so they can fight another day, is what he's saying. So we are the
Yeah.
ones that are going to be here fighting.
Someone once said online that there is a period for fighting and there is a period to hide. And these days is not the day to hide. I think some of
Oh,
our people expect our rivals, enemies to fall down and die somehow. They will
mm.
not. That is a dream. They will never fall down and die. You have to earn your way in this world. I'm sorry, it's just what it is, and it comes with a lot of hard work, risks. And the funny thing about this risk, when people talk about it, is that they think by not doing those things, you forgot you kind of forestall the hard work. If anything, by not doing it, we are even in more trouble. The trouble that is going to come for us later is going to even be bigger. See, the Native Americans, they are living in reservations right now, and the Australians, they are nowhere to be seen. The Aboriginals there, New Zealand, the same thing, and that time they didn't have nuclear weapons. So, hey God, they didn't have nuclear weapons, and now they do. See, in my eyes, what I see is we've gotten weaker over time, and they've gotten stronger. And our people, instead of them to wake up to the danger, they are not even ready. And this is why conscientizing them is very important. When I say Nigerians should recruit more security to protect the country, you need to see how people viscerally come after me. They're like, why? Why do you need them? People are corrupt. Like, but corruption is a smaller problem. Corruption, you can deal with the corruption in the military, but at least you need the right size first. If you don't have the amount of people to defend your country from external and internal threats, how are you supposed to be stable? And then you have the people overseas that won't come back home because they're afraid to come back to the country. So if you want to build your country, one of the first things you do, all those jobless people over that are sitting at home, that are not this in working, and that might even go and join the bandits and terrorists, you don't give them jobs. Instead of them, you do to give them jobs to defend themselves, you tell them sit at home. And that is something other people don't do. The Europeans, they defend their country. Look at Switzerland. Everybody says Switzerland is a peaceful country, such a peaceful country. Imagine my shock. Imagine my shock when I found out that Switzerland has 370,000 bunkers. Let me repeat that. They have more bunkers than we have soldiers. Why are a people so paranoid, but we are not?
It's the question
That
I keep asking every day. That I don't understand. Like the way we live on this continent is as if nothing is going on. Nothing ever happened in the past. Nothing is happening right now. Nothing will happen in the future. That's how we live on this continent. Like we had not experienced anything that would make us paranoid. We are supposed to be the most paranoid group of people on the face of the earth,
exactly.
but we are
Mhm.
not.
Asleep. It's a dangerous sleep that we are sleeping right now. And I thank God that you see it, and this is why you have this passion. You see it, and I see it too. And I say it like some, when Nigeria, how many men told me Nigeria has no enemies. We don't need all this defense. I was like, you got enslaved and colonized. Do you even know what just happened? It's like, why? Why would you think like that? I don't, and you know why? So okay, see, I've always when they did this, I will always wonder, okay, why do they think like this? Then what came to my mind was the reason why they think like that is the way we got our independence, because there was continuity from the colonizer to our leaders, and these colonizers groomed this elite class. I remember when growing up, I would watch a program like a drama, and you see this headmaster or this government worker. He will be wearing short knicker, shirt and this in hat. He will be talking. It's like an intermediary between the people and the colonizers. All these old dramas. And those class of people, they are respected in their communities in Nigeria because they are educated, they can speak English, they talk to the colonizers and all the rest of it. When they left, those are the people they handed power over to. And in other words, they don't see themselves as a free people. This is what Fela was talking about, and it's a shame for him because he probably knew that our people are not going to wake up on time, and he encoded it into songs. That this colonial mentality, they free us, but we refuse to free ourselves. And this is why we are where we are. We keep a kind of ignoring our own responsibilities and leaving it for Igbo people to take care of it for us. Who do you think is guaranteed Nigeria's security or that of this in most francophone countries and is Western powers? Our leaders are just sitting there doing nothing. They are not really taking care of their people. That's why we are so poor. We are so poor. It's not even funny. If you start looking at the numbers, how poor we are, it's like, why did they even bother leaving us with any scraps at all? Because everything that we are living on is just scraps. A country like the UK that is 60 something million is spending 1.4 trillion every year on their economy. This small country, 1.4 trillion dollars, while Nigeria is spending 26 billion as a national budget. That tells you now, how are you going to catch up in that kind of situation?
And we are 200 million people.
Imagine. Everywhere you look at it, everywhere I turn, I see problems, and it makes me, it makes me sound crazy sometimes when I'm talking to my fellow Nigerians and maybe some diasporans, because I talk to Americans and other people. It makes me sound crazy sometimes. Like, what is wrong with you? But can't you see it? Can't you see the madness we are living in? We are
I
actually
don't even know
becoming
if
weaker.
it's a matter. I don't even know if it's a matter of whether they can't or if they don't want to see it. Sometimes I wonder, is it that they cannot? Because these things are very obvious. So is
Mm.
it a matter of them not seeing it or them not wanting to see it? I wonder.
I think so. They don't want to see it. And many of them grow up thinking of the white people as, the people to aspire to be like. And some of them, even in the West, yeah, they have friends that are whites and all that. So they feel like when they speak in those terms, like we are doing, that it means we hate white people. Personally, I'm not taking it personal with them, because the way I look at it is that it's never personal. It's about power. Um, Nobody gives you power for free. If you look at what the Europeans, they did it to themselves. They killed each other in the millions, and they hate each other with a venom. They kill the Chinese. Anybody, if you are weak, you invite trouble. It's just the nature, for you can blame God for it, but that's the world God left us with. You have to be able to withstand problems. You have to prepare for it. Um, you know, during the time of Machiavelli, which he's regarded as the father of modern political sciences, he was the one that said the only study of a prince is war. That even when he's at peace, is to prepare for war. And I know our Nigerians know a lot about Machiavelli, and he also said that if you want a strong state, you have to have a strong military. That he actually said, to get good laws, you have to have good military. Basically, you have to have good defenses. And our leaders, like Babangida, he knows about Machiavelli. We always talk about Babangida and Machiavelli and all those things. But yeah, they don't read that chapter where it says your job is to prepare for anything people throw at you. Because they don't see people as enemies. Just like fellow Nigerians ask me, we don't have enemy. Who are you preparing to fight? The reason why they're asking like that, because they don't see Oyibo people as problems. They don't see it. They see it like, they colonized us and they are not fighting us now. So why bother? Yeah, there's no need. And they don't. And I think the only way people's eyes are open to these things is if they lived through it. You have to see it. And it's a shame, because when Ovaro Palace was being destroyed, King Jaja of Opobo was being taken away, and all the our rulers were being taken away. None of these generations saw it. None of the generation that they handed power over to in 1960, most of them didn't see it, because they had generations to groom that memory out of them. Now they started seeing their oppressors as their a kind of benefactors. They literally see the British as benefactors, like they are the ones that came and trained us. They trained us, they showed us the light, and we have to respect them and honor their memory. That is how our leadership see the West. Hence, they will not tell the people, tell the people to be careful about foreigners. An example that I always give is, if you have a child and you see a snake, you want the child not to mess with that snake, isn't it? You will tell the child, next time if you see a snake, be careful. Not all of them are venomous, but be careful just in case. Um, but our leaders, they don't warn us about potential threats out there. They make it look like the whole world is our friend, and yet we are this poor. So that is the mistake our leadership makes. And we're talking. You probably know him, Kenneth Okonkwo. You know him in living in bondage. I don't know whether your generation, your generation were not around during that time. Living in
You know
bondage.
this movie.
Yes, yes. Yeah,
Mm.
you know Kenneth Okonkwo, he works with P2B. So I was having a conversation. We were on a panel together. He was a guest. So he was questioning because somebody on the panel asked a question that you would ask, like, what should our leaders be listening to all this Western, IMF and all those things when they come to our country? He says, why are we blaming them? Why are we blaming IMF and all those people? We should blame ourselves and all that. That we shouldn't call out foreigners. We should be worrying about ourselves. So I said to him that it is true we should be worrying about ourselves, but you have to tell our people that those people, you should watch out for them too. Just like you tell a child to watch out for a snake. And it's your job to tell them to watch out for those people. And your own fellow citizens come out to ask you this question about whether we should be listening to foreigners. Instead of you to say, yeah, we shouldn't be listening to them. They are not always very nice to us. And we also have to take responsibility for ourselves. But he shut him down from calling the other people out, which reinstates the same behavior where we treat everybody as our friends. And I wasn't very happy with that. And a lot of people felt like I was challenging him. This is wrongly, but I felt that was actually an appropriate thing to question. That why would you shut somebody down for saying that we shouldn't be listening to IMF? You should be encouraging them to say, "Oh yeah, that's actually the truth. We shouldn't be listening. We shouldn't be listening to anybody. We should be putting ourselves first." Instead, you shut him down completely. And tomorrow, when he goes out now, he will be thinking. He might start thinking, maybe he's right. I shouldn't worry about AMF. I should just forget about it. And they are friends after all. Tomorrow he too will fall for the same mistake that other people have been making. But I've taken up a lot of space, and let me allow other people to chime in. Thank you very much, EVA, and may you this say wax stronger in what you are doing, and in our time we should be able to see a change.
Thank you very much, Mr. Two Thank you. But before you go, I just want to quickly say that it's crazy that after what we went through as a people, we don't naturally have this distrust for them folks. That we even have people, our own people, even if we want to say, okay, fine, say we're not that knowledgeable about our history, because if we want to keep it for real, they don't really teach us about our history. Um, history now as regards to colonization, because of course there's more to our history than colonization and slavery, right? Our history did not start from colonization and slavery. We had history before that. But when it comes to our history and our experience with them colonizers and enslavers, we're not really taught in school exactly what went down, but we have an idea that something heinous happened to our people, right? And
Mm,
I think just that thought that, oh, something crazy happened and it's this group of people that did it for 400 years, right? I think that is supposed to be enough for us to have a natural wariness when it
mm,
comes to them, because we have a history with them. But the fact that we don't just naturally have that suspicion that no, you are guilty, we should not trust you until maybe you've given us reason to. And even if you give us reason to trust you, we will not still trust you 100%, because who knows what exactly is going through your head. It's just crazy to me that we just, as a people collectively, don't have that instinct yet. And I wonder why that is. So the
this is
point
why
is we
is
have
that
so-called
continuity.
leaders coming
Mm,
up and telling us that we don't have to worry about what them folks are doing or what they said, or whether or
mm,
not they are coming in. I mean, we had these people come in first and see what they
mm.
did. Now we should not be worried that they're coming in again. That's crazy.
You know about how all these people they groom, people that they want to groom to do their bidding, this grooming stuff that goes around these days. These people had chance to groom generation after generation of our leadership, of our elite class. And remember, this same elite class, many of them participated in selling our own people.
Yeah.
So they groomed our leaders, and then they handed power over to them. This is why they don't. If they have been the experience what North Korea experienced, where North Korea's country was 80% of all their structure was destroyed. China was decimated by this in Japan. Japan was decimated. South
By
Korea was
you.
decimated. This in Singapore. And look at all the countries now. Look at all these countries that we were talking about were decimated. Nigeria was not decimated like that too. Look at where they all are
Mm.
now. Because you need more than just words to unite the people. You need all of them to understand, if we don't do this, we are all in big trouble. And I feel like this is why Asian countries are stronger today, because all of them went through serious tumults, problems. They saw what the Europeans can inflict on them, one way or the other. They saw it all. And they demanded for more for them, their people. I'm telling you, China came out of an invasion by the Chinese, and the first thing they did was go to Soviet Union and ask for nuclear technology. Do you understand what it takes to do that? It's like Nigeria walking into America right now and said, give us your best weapon ever. That's what the Chinese did. And they got it in the end because they were desperate. They needed, because they didn't have any choice. What choice that they've got? They've seen what it's like to be weak. But our problem is that we've not seen it. You need more. You need to fear for your life
So
and survive
are
it.
you saying that we probably need to experience more for us to know that we need to get more like on a different track?
I'm sorry to say, I used to be one of those people that believe that change can happen peacefully. It looks like this world is very, very mischievous. It doesn't want it to happen that way. If you look at even in the Bible, when the Israelites were released from Egypt and they got to the land of Canaan, the first thing they did was they were scared. Then they banished them into the wilderness for 40 years. Then when they were ready to do the hard work, they had to go and invade. So what I find in life is that you have to have an existential threat to an extent for people to be united. And our leaders, because they are not telling our people that we have a threat, there's a threat out there, there's a snake out there, our people are not alert to it. And because of that, they are asleep.
Hmm.
That's what I feel can explain, at least to the best of my knowledge, because from observing what happened in other parts of the world, that explains why we are quite docile. Our leaders don't open our eyes to the truth of what has happened to us. 60,
I see
70 years of
Mr.
colonization.
I see Mr. Joe Itema nodding his head. Mr. Joe
Hello.
Itema,
Yes, Evie, I can hear you guys.
yes, you were
What I
you were
wanted to say,
nodding your head.
yeah, what I wanted to say is a lot of people don't understand that you need to have your vibration to go up. If your vibration of your body is low, you can't do anything in the world. You can't. Though you'll be attacked by anybody, even your own African people will attack you. So you need all the time to have your vibration up. Vibration, increase your vibration means what? You have to remove a lot of things from your life, like drinking alcohol, drinking meat, drinking, like watching violent movies and stuff like that. So your mind must be pure 100% most of the time. Then that's how you fight, and your DNA start changing. Once your DNA start changing, then you can go to manifest whatever you want. Like you can control people around you. It's like a magic. That's when the magic starts to happen. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Mm.
It's got
Yeah,
to do with
I
your vibration.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has
Hello.
to do with it has to do with the spiritual world, which is more like 80% of the world is spiritual. So in order for you to be able to control and manifest and live happily and make sure that it's not to do with white people also have a problem, but the thing is it's that with internal. It's a more internal work. It's not outside too much. It's not what you see. It's more what you think and what your belief system inside of you since childhood. You understand?
Mm.
mm. Yeah, but it has to be directed, isn't it? One has to be, the term they use is intentional about these things. I believe it's
Yeah.
simple. If you have a child, you take care of your child. You should take care of your people just the same way, and you should take care of your heritage just the same way. And if we understand that simple concept, we should apply that to everything. However, people don't behave like that. Crowds don't behave like that. They need a kind of for want of a better word, stimuli, some catalyst to force them to align their thoughts to a goal. And so far, Africans have not had anything in the last 40 years to focus our minds on one agenda. Not even Nigeria, no major stuff has happened. And this is why we seem to be darting all over the place. Have you noticed that the way the West treats the black African nation is different from the way they treat any other part of the world? And I believe this is just a conspiracy theory, a theory on my part. I believe is that they understand that if they did that on the continent when our generation was there, we are all going to wake up like the way the Asians woke up, and our thoughts will be aligned. And they don't want to treat us the same way. They don't want to engage us in a first world conflict like the way they do with other people, to open our eyes. If they did that, our eyes will be open and it will never close again. And that's why they even tried to do that in Niger recently, and they backed off because they knew if they did that, I was seeing African Americans come on YouTube saying if they try that, they are going to go there. I'm in the UK here. I've seen young children leave school, secondary school. They left their school to go to Syria because the UK, they are UK citizens, so they left the UK to go and fight for their country. Because when you attack a people's homeland, it wakes them up. But have you noticed that they never really gone to sub-Saharan Africa to go and bomb any nation? You don't see them flying all over, invading with soldiers. They don't do that. They always use our leaders against us. Because if they know full well that if they did it the way they do elsewhere, we are going to wake up. That's my theory. That
Because if they do that, we'll not start to look at them differently. Those of our people that are like,
exactly.
oh, these people they are angels, they are good people, they even give us aid. They will not be like, wait a minute, these are the people bombing us. Maybe they are not that good. Maybe we need to start thinking about how to protect ourselves so this that happened don't happen again. You see, that is not a conspiracy theory. There's some facts in there now that you've
Yeah.
pointed it out. I'm thinking that's some
They are very
very strong.
cunning. When it comes to
Yeah,
us, they are very cunning. They never want to open our eyes to it.
and we are too straightforward. There's no corny bone in our body. We're just like
Well,
an open book. This is what you see is what you get. There's no
thanks to
nothing
our
there.
leadership now. Thanks to our leadership. Everybody's our friend somehow. And they don't teach our people power. They don't teach our people. And to be fair, most of the world, they don't teach them the importance of power. They remove that from the curriculum. They teach you about economics. They teach you about everything else. But they didn't teach you about the thing that matters most, which is power in the world. How they always teach it only to military people. You see, that's the funny thing. When you go to military, they teach you everything. They don't omit anything. But when they teach ordinary people, they teach us almost as if we are chaps. The same way they teach their own people here too. They don't teach them how power really works. And this is why you see America doing something in the Middle East. The people are freaking out because they don't understand what it takes to keep their nation this rich. So it's just one of the, and the same thing is happening to our own people too. They don't teach our people what power truly means, what it takes to keep power. For me, I learned it very simple, the way God made it. This world, if you're not strong, you're going to be in trouble. Period. It applies everywhere, in your school playground, to your countries, to your tribe, to your nation, and to your race. If you are weak, you pay their price for it, and the world doesn't owe you a living. It will eliminate you if you if you decide to remain weak. It has no mercy. It's just the way it works.
I think you're talking about spiritual power. It's not a physical power. You're
I
talking about
think
spiritual.
I see. I'm sorry. I don't want to sound um, mean, or I
Mm,
don't know the term to use, but I feel like this world is as spiritual as any.
mm,
I believe that it was a con that people came here and told us that forsake this world for something nobody has been to and never come from, and we believe them. I see the con that involves. What is more mysterious than this world you are living in? You are here, you don't know how. You are going to leave, you don't know how. What is mom? We can't even we don't even, when you wake up, do you know how you get up from your bed? And do you control your breathing? You don't know. What life is a mystery on its own. The fingerprint
Yes,
of
yes.
the creator is everywhere, and this is one of the reasons why I like our own traditional religions. They don't tell you to hope for a life after here that is where you're going to enjoy. That's not how
And
it
they
works.
also and they also don't tell you to wait for someone else to come save you from the mess that you're in. They tell you to go fight for yourself.
Exactly. You tell
They will
people
not tell
to
you, they will
suffer
not
and go to
tell you
heaven.
to wait that Jesus is coming to come and save you. No. Our African traditions will tell you if you are suffering, end your suffering by yourself. Take the bull by the horn, basically.
Do you know the kind of corn it takes to make people do that? There's a quote out there that says, "Lo, when man discovered hell, hell was his heaven on earth, because he can now suffer contemplating the punishment of his tormentors in the other world." It's like you are willing to suffer in this world. You
In
subject
hopes
yourself to
that
all kinds of
enemy will suffer
inhumanity
in the afterlife.
for a world you don't know anything about.
I think I think
It's
religion was designed to. I think religion was designed
unbelievable.
to control people. It's not a real thing. Religion
That,
was always designed to control.
that's how they'll
Mm.
be telling you when they slap you on one cheek, on the other cheek. Only your oppressor will give you that kind of teaching. Someone that don't want you to fight back.
And they don't
Only
do it too.
someone only someone that don't want you to fight back the oppression and subjugation that they are putting you through will be telling you that, oh, when someone slap you on one cheek, turn the other cheek. Why? Because they don't want you fighting back. They want you in a docile position. So they put that belief in you so you don't retaliate. So
and
you
you
don't do
and you
anything.
forsake the world God gave you. God gave
Yes.
us this world to exist in this time, in our own time here, and you completely ignore it and chase something
Yes.
else. And the truth is that if you look at the Oyibo people that have spent their time separating some of the garbage stuff in religion from science, I believe that they are closer to God by studying the creation itself that God made. Because if you look at our religions, the essence of it is trying to understand the world at the heart of it. This is why you have the Ogun, this thing that is, I think it's linked to iron, and
Yeah.
it's also tied to this blacksmith, this field, and
Mm.
it's in a way trying to understand God's creation and our purpose here. And what I found recently was that the when the British or the Americans, when they got into America, one of the ways they convinced I think maybe it was the Spanish, one of the ways they convinced the Aztecs or the Americans that they are superior was to be able to predict the eclipse that happened at that time. And where did that knowledge come from? It's basically science. And what is science? It's in a way of studying the world. It's just a crude way of studying the world, the creation of God itself. And I believe that when people say religion is corrupted, this is what they mean. Religion has been corrupted, and they started telling us that there is a world out there. Then why did God put you here? Who told you? How did you know? The only thing God revealed to you so far is your presence here.
And if
For the
there's
life of
another
me, I don't
world,
know.
and if there is another world we are supposed to be, why do we not just be get created in that other world?
You tell me. And if God wanted you to know about those things, why is he not coming all the time? Is he that shy that you will tell only a few people, and then they say, okay, let's see what other people believe in? What is your point of all that? And then those people don't even have none of them have been to heaven and come back. Oh. They will just tell you they saw one vision and all that. So what is that? You can't
Nope.
live based on speculation. If you cannot repeat it over and over again, it's speculation. Because in life we can demonstrate it all the time. If you say something is true, you should be able to make it true all the time. If you cannot prove that it is true, then it's like, what is that? Is that gamble? If you say the sky is blue and I see that it's green, that is inaccurate. You have to prove to me the sky is blue constantly. And this is what religions do. Most of the religions you see in the world, there's no proof of what they are saying. They tell you that you're going to go to heaven. Some of them, they will have how many virgins and all, and you just are supposed to believe it. See, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be offensive to religious people, but at least our forefathers, they were not just living, abandoning the world for something out there. Because for me, this world is spiritual as just as it is physical. Everything is here. All you know now is what you have. Anything else is just speculation. And why should you do that? I would rather live in this world, make it as learn about it as much as I can, because that is, it's like going to a university and you are hoping to, you are practicing for the work. Like, it's like you're not studying the university that you are in. You're not studying your subject that you're meant to study. You are looking at the work you're going to be doing somewhere in the future. That is not how it works. You have to deal with the one that you are in now, and then whatever comes next, you deal with that. The idea that God, the creator, decide that, oh, because you are nice, you're going to go to heaven. Yeah, then if you are mean, you go to hell. I simply refuse to believe that. And I actually think it's a con. It's a con, maybe for good reasons, because some cons are actually for good reasons. They do it so that people behave themselves. People behave better, because human beings are very, very funny. If you don't have any way to make them behave, they will behave bad. But it still
This
doesn't mean it's
particular
not a
one
con.
is a con for good reasons, in my opinion, only for the colonizers, because I don't see us benefiting from any of this con that they made us believe.
Oh, that, no,
Con,
on that part, that's for sure. That's definitely true.
cons like
Mm.
you know, you will go to heaven, focus on heaven while don't think of the things of this earth, when they were so concerned about the things of the earth, but they wanted us to be fixated on heaven. Cons
It's
like
funny. It's funny.
if they slap you on one cheek, turn the other cheek. Cons like pray for your enemies and those that hate you and persecute you. Like, what the hell is that?
it's sad, isn't it?
They were telling our ancestors to pray for their enemies. Who was our ancestors' enemies? They were telling our ancestors, when they slap you on one cheek, turn the other cheek. Who was slapping our ancestors? That is the foundation of the docility of. I don't know if docility is a word, but you guys get what I mean, right? That is where this docile nature that we have today came from. Because now we are a generation of people who we came from a generation of mentally colonized and enslaved people. So they passed that thing that were taught to them by the colonizers to us. And now
Mm.
we the ones who still practice these things, are passing on to our children. So of course, Africans are not going to be thinking of fighting. Why should they? When they believe in words that says, turn the other cheek and pray for your enemy and those who hate you. Like it's a whole layer. But when you say things like this, people get offended. You are blasphemy. You are speaking against Kinio.
You
So
should
it's
say it loud and shout at them if you need to. I, you should see these people. They need to hear it. Our people need to hear this. They like it or not. Because what you say, I experience is everything you are just saying. I experience it too. Like if you tell them that, you are there fighting Fulani, you are there fighting Muslim. You know how Nigerians are, Muslim, Christian. You are fighting for
mm,
another man religion. The desert dwellers come and told you that this is your life and you picked it. Is that not on you? You can't. The people. Can you imagine Muslims fighting Christians? They forget that in Sudan right now, there are people that are being killed that are Muslims, but because they are not Arabs. After they convert you to Islam, the next thing that is going to follow it is Arabization. That's
mm.
how they Arabize the North. And when you tell our people that, Mr. Jihad, you want to go and fight jihad for a religion that you don't know where it came from, don't worry. Carry on. You will be next. Whether you're Muslim or not, you'll be
Yeah,
next.
by the time you've helped them won their war, then you are next.
They
They'll
come
come
for
out
you.
fighting.
They come for you. And that's why that when you said layer upon layer, that's that's what clicked in my mind. There are so many layers of control that has been put over our people, and to unravel it, one of the things I have said to them is, if you want to practice, if you are so keen on practicing this religion, take control of it. Because what I saw with Christianity was that the Igbo people, Christianity was not their own. But you know what they did? When they became Christians, they put the headquarters in Rome, And then when the English people didn't like it anymore, they took the headquarters and put it in this in England. So that they can, and after England did that, they never looked back. They went on to conquer the world. England took control of his religion. And our people right now, all the religions we practice,
Hello?
that's super space, super pace, I
Yes.
mean. Yeah, go ahead if you want to
Hello?
say something.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, good. Um, I just want to say I agree with you, to Niger, a lot of what you're saying. But can I just interject something? I think a lot of our people are comfortable with the status quo.
Mm.
That, oh, why you want me to be awake? Especially those who are doing financially well. Okay, I'm okay. My family's okay. We have money. But we don't see that the enemy of my brother is my enemy. The enemy of my sister is my enemy. And a big example recently of how I interpret that was when Mali and Niger said, France, it's time for you to go. And France said, no, 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 we have financial interests in these countries. We're not moving. And then I know it was mostly talk, but ECOWA interjected themselves on behalf of the oppressors. I'm like, really? You are going to have a issue with your own brothers and sisters for France, given France's reputation, given what they have done to the continent and the diaspora? How could you even think of reprimanding these countries? And I'm like, we should we don't have to go to war, but when I see somebody treating my brother or my sister on the continent, any country, I have now looked at you. You're no longer a friend, you're no longer an ally. When you sanction Zimbabwe, you're no longer an ally. When you sanction South Africa, you're no longer an ally. But we see, oh, it's only Mali that has been sanctioned, so I'm okay. It's only Zimbabwe that was sanctioned, so we're okay. No, we're not. The oppressor is going to tell you, I'm going to tear down your brother and your sister. Sit here and be quiet. I think not. No, no, no. What they
And is
do
it
What they do
sorry?
to one, they do to all.
Mm.
Because whatever they are going to do to whatever France is bold enough to try to do in Mali, they will try to do it elsewhere because they think they have the right. They believe that they have the right to impose their ways and their will in any country they see fit. And it's so shameful. Most of these leaders, they just like go along with that.
And it's
I'm
also
like,
interesting when you think about what's going on in Congo and how African nations are pretty much quiet about it, like it's not happening. It's
it's
actually
like
very
it's scary. It is
it's
scary.
sick that what is happening in Congo is happening, and Oga Tinubu is not saying anything. Of course, he's not saying anything. I'm not expecting Tinubu to say anything, right? Ghana, we're not talking about what we need to do and how we need to go there. What's happening with our brothers and sisters in Congo? What's happening in their country? Like, what's going on? How can we help? It's as if nothing is happening. You turn on the news, they are not saying anything about it in the news. You basically get more information about what's going on in your continent from TikTok, bloody TikTok, than you
Exactly.
get
Mm.
from our news outlet. Like
Mm-hmm.
I sometimes it's so painful and you get so exhausted thinking about these things. And
Is.
you being an average citizen, it's just basically because you look around and the entire population, so the majority of the population, they are like oblivious, nonchalant, a combination of all of these not so positive traits that is not going to get us anywhere.
Mm,
And of course, why would these people not be ignorant? When we are not talking about it as a country, we are not talking about it as a continent. So you will be shocked to find out that there are Nigerians that don't even know about what's going on in Congo. There are Ghanaians that, if you're not on TikTok, you will not know, basically, because nobody is talking about it in the news. It's as if
And
it's not happening. It's like
a lot of people were
it's
not
not
on
an
TikTok.
African problem.
A lot of
And
people
then
were.
you wonder, what is
Okay.
African Union doing? African Union is supposed to
mm.
be for Africans. This is why I don't
Mm,
ever
really?
all these unions, African unions, ECOWAS, like those. In my opinion, those are just basically puppet organizations.
Yeah,
Because
I
like
agree with you.
they don't help African people. They are not here for us. You will never hear me talking
Mm.
about African Union or ECOWAS, because why should I? I know they are not for my people. They are not for me.
No, they're not.
That's why you will
They're
hear
just.
that ECOWAS is going to ask
Mm.
Niger or Mali, why are you doing what you are doing? Why are you trying to free yourself from France? Because these are organizations that are funded by them colonizers.
You
So
know,
of course,
sometimes I wonder whether they, I like, because whenever I argue something, I try to give the other side the benefit of the doubt. And I look at some of our leaders sometimes and say, is there a strategy behind what they are doing here? You know, is there a strategy that they want to use to outsmart these people? Like,
there is no
I
strategy.
can't see it.
There is no strategy. Those men are dumb, useless. They are waste of space. I don't
Unbelievable.
see any strategy, because how
I
many
can't
years
see it.
because
we had Buhari for 8 years.
because a lot of them are there for their own interests. They're not there for the people. There's no way you could sit. Julius said it the best. He said, I am South African. I am Zimbabwean. I'm
Mm,
Ghanaian. I every country I am. If you look
yeah,
at me, if you look at people in Zimbabwe, you will see me. If I look at people in in Mali, I see myself. I am you and you are me. So when outside comes in and say we decide what goes on, no, that's my brother. You want to sanction Zimbabwe? Fine, but we are not going to join in. We will
Mm.
supply them with food that they need so our people don't starve. We will supply them with clothing that they need so they're not out in the elements dying. We will supply them with medical assistance so they could stay alive. If we need, we will send military to keep them safe. Why are we not thinking like that? Why is it that, oh, it's their problem? No, it is an African problem. It is our people's problem. Not because the West said, "Oh, bravo, Nigeria, you're doing well." It means that they really mean it. It means that you're just obeying. You're just being a good little puppet or a good little boy or a good little girl, and you're just doing what we say. Because when you look at the rest of the continent, when you look at the diaspora, we're like, hey, we wouldn't. How can this be possible? How can this be happening? No, we, as you said, it's TikTok that's giving the news. If I want to know what's happening in Congo, it's IG. And most people my age and older are not on TikTok. They're not on IG.
Nigeria
And
leader is Twitter, or X as they call it now.
yeah,
Um, but can I ask you something? You sound American. Do the African leaders, when they come to the UN every single year, do they have
mhm.
meetings with the black community there, or like do they like have community with the African American communities that you are
hmm,
aware of?
No, they
I
don't.
doubt it. Okay,
They
no.
don't. Because you would think that when African leaders come to the West, come to America, come to Europe, like England, they would want to speak to their brothers and sisters in the West.
Common
Create,
sense. So
To
create,
Niger, they don't care about us here. You think it's the ones that
create
deal with
that
care.
pathway, create that wavelength between our brothers and sisters. Here is what's happening in the continent. Here is what's happening in the West. The only time something like this happened was when what happened to George Floyd happened, and South Africa had a commemoration for his name and his passing, and they celebrated his life. That was the only time I noticed that. But when the leaders come, they come as if they were, comment je dirais-je, as if they were called. Now it's your turn to speak. Present yourself.
It's really sad though. It's really, really
It's
sad because you walk past your brothers and just attend meetings as if you don't know you are linked to them. And
yes.
it's almost surreal
We
to
don't
That's
even
what
observe
know
I'm
these
that they
things
were
saying,
go on.
there.
Cynthia.
We don't
That's
even
what
know
I'm
that they
saying,
were there
Cynthia.
until they leave.
Mm.
If they don't
Sometimes
care
we
about
leave.
one, they don't
No,
care about.
because you know what? The West we're gonna question them. They don't want to be questioned. What are you doing? How are you going to? Because who said it? It's escaping my memory. But the black man will never be free until Africa is free. This is
Yeah.
our own land. One, there's no respect on the continent's name. There's none. When they speak of Africa, it's like it's dissolution, disaster, everything that is negative, everything that is just no good. It's associated with the continent. Everything dark and it's not progressing. Nothing is going further. It's associated with the continent, but yet all the resource is coming from the continent. So there's no respect. We don't have that place in this global society where there is respect on our name. So wherever we go, we will be seen as such because the continent is seen as such. So
That's true.
once we as a people, we all look up to the motherland and we put the importance there, and she has a solid backbone, a solid frame that nobody could touch, we're untouchable. But too much of us are sleeping. We don't want to do the work that it would take. We feel very comfortable in the West here, in these Western nations, because we're giving education and our diplomas are everything to the most of us. And let me tell you, as we get older, we will realize that that piece of paper doesn't mean anything if you have a slight inclination of what is really and truly going on in this world.
Mm. You heard what you said about George Floyd. Um, it's like George Floyd was a kind of mini catalyzing event that charged up with the community for just a while,
Yeah.
and that is what I'm talking about. Like I feel like we wish to be united. Most Africans don't have a lot of problem being united, but we don't have the push. I feel like it needs something
Motivated.
extra to push
We
us.
need something
Uh,
to
Mhm.
motivate us.
yes.
Where we're forced, we will have no choice. It's a
Yeah.
matter of life and death, where we literally seek each other out and said, okay, you're all I've got and I'm all you've got. Let's go. And there's no turning back. And also we have this issue where we don't gatekeep. We let everything in and everyone in. Nothing that is too uniquely to us is sacred anymore. Certain language, certain practice, they're no longer sacred. Anybody could come and study and look and dig and rummage through things. Certain things should be sacred because we are divine and we're spiritual beings and we're mystical. If you go anywhere in the world and you are the only black person there and you turn around and see another black person, the energy in the space change. It shifts. There's an immediate connection that you have with that person and that person have with you. So we're different. And it's like we don't know how to tap into that energy, that tapestry that is woven between us. It's like we have forgotten that it exists. So it's like that connection is just like on a superficial level, like, hi, how are you? But we have a deeper connection. Because anytime we are in trouble, We just look at each other and we automatically know what to do without even saying it. Because I'm listening to you and I could understand exactly what you're gonna say next. Or you're not, you're like, oh, I don't know how to say this word, but I know exactly what you're saying. So I think that something has to happen that is gonna force us where we have no choice.
Mm. And we have that's one good thing we have for us as Africans within nations, within and even between the different nations. The animosity is not very strong. Like the way Europeans hate each other, they just don't make no mistake compared to the hatred they have for each other's. Most African nations don't have that much hatred for each other in terms of nationally. So it means if something happens in one nation right now, let's say one country comes and start attacking one nation, most black people around the world will converge on that.
Yeah,
And I think that is just one positive we have as a, because I believe that in Asia, if you attack one country in Asia, there are countries that will join the attackers to attack that country. But Asian countries, they are quite divided, even if they are more developed than us. But many African countries will unite to attack anybody that wants to attack an African nation. And this is why Nigerian government failed to attack Niger, because it's like when he was talking about the person, I said, where do you think you're going? You want to go and attack Niger with outside people all over the place? That's not happening. I knew that wasn't going to happen, and he never did, because Africans
it
are more
couldn't.
united than we think. It's impossible. You can't.
It couldn't because even though we're even though we have internal bickering, we're not
Mm,
going to allow someone from the outside to come in and allow us to bicker and fight with each other.
mm,
That we have to pay attention because they are very, very good at that. They know how to do it subtly and sneakily to come in because they said the enemy cannot come into your home unless someone from the inside open the door.
Mm.
So they
mm,
know exactly how to sneak their way in. They come before colonization, before imperialization, they present themselves as friends. They come when they come to North America. When France came to North America, they almost died. It's the native Indian that saved them from scabies, that give them food and kept them alive during the winter weather that they weren't used to. And that's how they came in and infiltrate themselves as friends until
mm,
they come in and show who they really are and what their true intentions are. So they know how to get in and they know how to get in on our good grace. And we as a people, we're so forgiving, so open, so accepting.
And it's
Even
annoying.
even with even when we see it over and over again that we shouldn't be trusting, we should have what we call nowadays a side eye for everybody, but we tend to relinquish that and we're open and we are forgiving and we're accepting and we're loving. Well, we are the first people. That's how we survive all of this. That's how we help keep them alive also because we are loving and we forgive and we share. But that
mm.
oversharing is to our detriment, I believe, because
Before I leave, I think I've outstayed my welcome. I think I've stayed far longer than other people.
no,
Um,
no, no. Your
uh,
welcome is a great thing.
We are
Good.
here.
and
Big.
yeah, EVA, I don't know if your email works, because I would like to invite you to Dr. Damages so that you can help take some of the heat. You can help take some of the
Okay,
heat
no
that they give to
problem.
me. Yeah, I really do appreciate giving me the opportunity to discuss here, and I really admire the point that Super Space is making. We are all in sync here.
Yes.
Yes.
Is to change those people
Yes.
that used to change. That's it. They need to, the men. I see, when you are saying some of all these things, I feel ashamed as a man myself, and I also sometimes tell our women, don't hold your men too close to your chest. Their job is to do the hard work, and stop
Thank you
worrying
for
about
that one.
stop worrying about them being metrosexual men, and let them worry, make them worry about defending your community and your heritage. And so we all have our role to play in this. And as a
Mm.
man, I feel like I'm a failure myself, because you can't look at our society and say this is a success. If I like to think that we are a success, a Igbo man will look at me and laugh because they know we are rubbish right now. So thank you for the time.
Good night.
Thank you so much to Ninja. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
EVA, can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can. Sister
Sorry,
Coco.
I am Evie. I swear to God, your videos speak to my soul.
Thank you. Thank you. I
Like,
appreciate
I'm
you.
just gonna make a few points and then I'll leave you ladies to it. I've
All right.
basically been studying these demonic parasites for a long time. And when I say demonic parasite, I mean all of them because they have all counseled against us. Melanated people, we have no friends. We need to stop that juvenile thought of treat others how you want to be treated. Only we believe that nonsense. Nobody else
Hmm.
believes it. Nobody else is playing on the playground like that. And also, we need to understand that these demonic parasites have become so good at this that they tap, when one gets tired, they tap the cousin in. Remember, with the first batch poured down from the Caucasus, they came, the real Arabs were jet black when they arrived. What happened? They enslaved our women and castrated our men. That was a couple thousand years ago. And since then, when they got tired, they tapped their next cousins in. Here comes Brad and his madness. And now here comes Ling Ling and Akbar and Sanjeet. You know, like it's getting old. Do you get what I mean? So what we need to understand is that we are being attacked on many levels, and that's why we need, instead of dismissing each other, we need to join up on those. Like, we're being attacked spiritually, mentally. Every day they're speaking wicked words. They call them their spells towards us. And then we're also speaking it onto ourselves, not knowing that we're the ones with power. That's why these demonic parasites, they can't create anything. For them to create, they have to make us believe it and bring it to life for them.
Mm.
That's why they have our totems in their so-called museum and hidden in places, and they refuse to let them go. And that is why, as soon as a puppet president comes into presidency, what's the first thing they do? They fly him to Europe to go do whatever juju they're doing on him there. By the time he's come back, he's blind, he's deaf, he cannot hear us, he cannot see, but he sees money. As far
Hmm.
as his money pockets are good, he, every time they give speeches, they say, yes, we're rising in credit, our money is coming up. No, your money is up. So it's almost like they put juju on them. They have one tunnel vision. The only thing, if your demon is happy, that means you're happy. It's the same thing with the coons.
Hmm.
Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Whatever makes their demons happy, it's juju. Evie, before when I was waking up, I used to think I was crazy. Like I used to get depressed and feel like the burden was so heavy until I started watching videos of yours, African diaspora, and I started seeing, okay, there's many of us. Now the burden doesn't feel so heavy because I used to wake up every day thinking, how comes my people wake up every single day surprised that demons did the same thing they did yesterday? It's like if every morning, if yeah, I come and I slap you on the face, I bet you by the third day you have plans for me. But my people
True.
wake up every day like, oh no, how have they slapped us again? And then this making friends, be my friends. We need to stop being pathetic. Seriously, sometimes we gotta just do tough love. This is a season of truth and tough love. We need to grow up. We're the only ones on the playground. Like, be my friend. Like, I love everybody. Like, come on, please. You love everyone while you're getting raped. And then as soon as you start speaking the way I am, what do people say? You sound hateful. Yeah. To me, when people say things like that, it triggers me. It's like you telling me, okay, listen, you have to live around your rapist. Yeah. And the person who came into your house, plundered, killed everybody, stole your dad, and is now raping you while laughing at you that your dad is pathetic and is no longer there. Yeah. And I have to be the patient one. As soon as I speak or act out, I'm the one who's unstable. I'm the one who's hateful. Your rapist is just trying to love you. You're the one who's not accepting the love. This sounds demonic. I have said my piece.
Thank you very much, Kokoros. You know what you said is very similar to what Suparu Pace was the point she raised earlier before we got disconnected, but you are very much on track. And I remember sometime it wasn't last year, it would be 2 years ago. I made a video on my former TikTok and I said that I hate there's this song, not to okay, I probably should not mention the song because I don't want to be disrespectful towards the artist, right? Because he obviously means well. But he was singing about one love, right? And how we should all come together. Everybody, we black people and the mother races should come together and we'll feel all right. You know, I used to sing that song when I was younger, but when I woke up, I'm sorry, when I grew up and then I woke up and I'm like, that's I don't think I like that song
Except
very.
when black people sing songs. Remember, we are very multi-layered beings. We're very special beings. Everything with us is emotion, is spiritual. It's so much more than words and what you can see on the surface. So when we sing and we put passion behind it, we mean that stuff. So when we say
Yeah,
one love, we really generate that.
yes. But then the
It's like
other
when we
folks,
sing Be Single Mothers, we believe that. I don't need a man. The rest of the women, they sing that at the concert and go back to their husbands.
hmm. So as I was saying, yeah, like I started to not really like that song very much when I woke up because when you really look at the reality, we are the only ones that operate within the one love mentality. Other groups of people don't operate under one love.
But Evie,
Yeah.
that one love was meant for us to
No,
love
no, no. But
ourselves.
this particular artist
Uh-huh.
and the song being sung, it wasn't for just us. He was saying us with them palm colors, them Asians, them everybody like we should love each other. I mean, it's a nice song in an ideal world. That wasn't a bad thing he's saying, right? But when we bring it to our reality, we are the only ones who love everybody, and we're the only ones who we see encouraging ourselves to love everybody.
It's like
You
when
don't see
Kinaji
other
said,
folks composing songs telling people to
mhm,
love everybody. You don't see that. You only see black people composing these songs, encouraging their people to love everybody. And I'm like, yes, we have this love to give. We give it to them folks and them other folks, whoever. But are they reciprocating this love? Why should we continue to love groups of people who don't love us when we can just keep all our love for ourselves and use this love to grow? But no, we're just giving everybody, and sometimes we don't even give ourselves this as much love if we want to keep this thing 100 because we still have certain issues with ourselves, but
Ivy,
we are with other people. Yeah.
Ivy, I used to do care. I used to do care in a mental home. And one time, the chaos went off in the main room where we put them to, entertain themselves for the day. And I looked around and it's almost like time slowed down. And I thought, oh my goodness, this is the world we live in, right? And I was like feeling, don't you ever feel like that, Ivy? Like, black people were being true man showed. Like, everybody else knows their role that they're playing. We're the only ones who are lost. We don't know the script. We don't know that we're being played. So one robs us here and the other one gaslights us like, no, not everyone hates you, see, because we're friends and we're all going through it together. Now we're all slaves. We've all been slaves. And they gaslight you. And then another one harms you. And then this other one comes to tell you, no, it's not all of us. So now you're stuck in this perpetual like struggle. This is why like a lot of our writers have said, once you open your eyes as a black person, you see mad or you go mad.
Yeah, I feel that way sometimes. And sometimes I get angry. Like sometimes I wish I was still part of the ignorant population because it can be so difficult.
But that's what we need, Evie. Anger makes you move. Yeah, when we're happy, we're comfortable, we're docile. You understand? Rage is what gets us moving. And you know why I think it's black women who will kick this off? Because sooner or later we've been getting tired. This is why I love to wake up every day and see these demons have shown their true side, have come out to tell us, oh, let's recolonize Africa again. Because now I'm starting to see, oh, every day they're pushing a little bit more. My people are starting to see your true face. As we get our powers, their true demons are going to start coming out. Once you say no to them, that's when you're going to start to see their real side. And hopefully this will push, especially our women. You've hurt my last child. You've killed my daughter. You've killed my son. You've killed my husband.
Oh no, have we lost you?
Yeah, we lost her again. Something happens with the microphone after a while.
The only thing we haven't tried is violence.
Yeah, that.
Hmm.
She's gone back again.
Not that I'm pushing violence out there, but I'm just saying, there's only so much you can be bullied or attacked before your
I
natural
know,
defenses kick in.
I know, but we're not like that to go around and instigate violence and
No, I don't think
instigate
I don't think
all
she
these
was
things.
saying we should go
No,
about and
that's
I
why I
know, I
corrected
know.
myself and I
I
said I'm not encouraging like you go
I
out there and
no
start
no
showing them hate. We're not
I
like
know
that.
that. I understand, but this is not in our nature to begin with. We're not even I'm just
Right.
letting people listening know that this is not even in our nature to even think like that. It's so that's why sometimes even though we know, it still surprises us at the things they do because we're like, really? You can't be like that. It's impossible because no way. Everything in the dark will come out to light. It will no it can't hide. They could only hide for so long. And as we see more and more as they show us who they are, tell us who they are, we're like, "Oh, okay. All right." So we have to take them as when they say this is how we are, this is who we are. Believe them.
We need to
And
take them by face value.
yes,
Believe them.
and act accordingly. Act accordingly
But let
because they
me
have
add
showed
on
us.
to what you said, yeah. You're
Uh
right.
huh.
Our people are not like that. And I feel like that's why some of them cannot fathom the evil. Is like that's why their brain shuts down. Like when you see something so shocking that your brain goes on like, panic mode. That's why some of our people can't fathom some of the things that they do, like the delectable Negro eating us, this fantasy about eating us, this fetishizing. Our people can't wrap their mind around this level of evil. We don't even have names in our languages for certain things like this.
Because it's inconceivable in our minds that this
it's
could
something that
be
you
It is.
this could be a part of what you think. This could be a part of what you conceive in your mind. That this even cross your vocabularies. It's wow. Sometimes we're like, it takes a different type. You have to be a different type to do this. But I mean, like, they no longer surprise me. Honestly, this
Because
behavior.
if I come to you punching you and kicking at you, you're going to defend yourself because you're like, whoa, we're in a fight. Because
Yes,
fighting fist to fist, yeah, we can do that. But if I come to you and start massacring your children in front of your face, and just, just going buck wild, just doing inhumane things, you're gonna freeze for a minute, because you're like, how do I combat that level of evil? Like, where do
exactly.
I even begin to revenge that?
Exactly. Do I now embrace that
Turn into a
type of
monster
behavior?
like you?
Exactly. 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 Because I was that's why when they say black people can be racist, I'm like, okay, because the things I have read, I'm like, I have yet to see one black person even imagine half of that amount of egregious act on anybody. Anybody. We as a people have never ever collectively come together to brutalize anybody else. Never. In fact, we forgive those who have done these things to us. We embrace those who have done these things to us. To the point like we're like some of us are like, we need to cut that crap out. We don't have to invoke the same amount of violence and hatred and vitriol, but we need to move accordingly because there's no changes. It's the same script, and the playbook is different. They rewrite the stories, but it's the same narrative. It's the same undertone. It's the same practice. It never gets old. It never gets old. And sometimes, even though we know this, it's still shocking. It's still shocking that after almost 1,000 years, they're still perpetrating the same behavior. You're like, come on, this is 2024.
No, put a couple more zeros on top of that. I hate when people say 400 years and blah, blah. No, 5,000 years and maybe a little bit more. Put more zeros on that. Because all they do is change their skin, like they change their costume and come back like peekaboo once again. We've never stopped moving since we met these demons. That's why I call them demonic parasite, because they do things only demons would do, and they move like parasites. Everything they touch, corruption. Everything, everywhere they go, death, 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 death.
Mm, mm,
They cannot give life to nothing. They cannot create. This is why they hold on to our stuff and they won't give them back, because those things collect our emotions. They're our totems, even though we've forgotten how to use them. They know how to use them, so they get us to feel a type of way, like George Floyd, or they harness our energy, and then they use our totems to bring whatever terrible things they want to imagine.
mm.
Trust
We
me,
just have
I
to
feel
start.
like the truth about these demons is stranger than fiction. Like this stuff that we're seeing, even the darkest things that we know about them, we've only just scratched the surface. There's things, hey, there's places, people will go to places that these beings will go places that we will never go, we would never even think of. And that's for only the little things, just their comforts that they want. So imagine when they feel proper threatened, how much further they will go. We need to prepare for absolutely anything, because absolutely anything is possible.
Mm, mm, mm.
I agree 100% with you, Kokaros. Thank you very much. You came in with the energy, your
Well, I'm gonna
point.
leave you ladies to it. I'm gonna keep listening, but I'm tidying up and stuff. So thank you, ladies, for having letting me, get my say in. And my people, just be strong. Don't vibrate in fear. There is nothing to fear. We have gone through thousands of years of this and survived, and this is now over in the spiritual realm. We've already won this. We just have to do the legwork down here, and we have to protect ourselves. So good
Okay.
night. Bye.
Good night. Thank you.
Thank you. Good night, Kokoros. Thank you for coming up. We appreciate you.
Thank you for your
All right.
work. Bye.
Bye. Oh, she's so sweet.
She did not mince words.
She did not. Like, she's one of those people that give it exactly how it needs to be given. Raw.
She's
How
like,
we need to give it.
she said, I'm not here to mince my words or my
Mm-mm.
feelings. I will
Mm.
give it to you just as his.
Oh
But you
my
have to
goodness.
understand,
Just imagine.
uh-huh.
Go on, go on.
It's a lot of people, a lot of us are going to be shocked when we hear things like this, when someone just comes out unapologetic about what they have to say and how they view certain things. But the thing is, they're unapologetic about who they are.
Mm.
And as she said, when you collect skulls and body parts of people from all around the world, something is different because you're harnessing the spirit of these people, the essence of who they are, and you cleave to it to feed you, to feed your energy. Mm, you're a different breed. You are you are special because it's it's only when this practice is done when you believe you should take the body and spirit of your enemy, feed it to yourself to become stronger.
Yes.
That is what it is. This is spiritual warfare.
Yes. Hello, everybody. Hello, Super Pace. Hello, Evie.
Hello, hello. It's
Oh
Hi,
my
spiritual
my
gosh.
good
warfare.
night.
This
And
conversation has just, I'm just jumping up and down and twirling around because there's so
hello,
much.
my golden life.
Yes, yes. You know me, Super Pace.
Yes, I
Hey,
do.
girl.
I
Hey,
do.
boo-boo. How you doing, girl?
I'm okay. How are you?
Yes, I'm good. I'm good. I have just been, you guys have just been dropping gems all over the place, all over the place. And yeah, so it's our biggest weakness is that they have our mind. And
Hmm.
it is so difficult to change the mind.
Yes.
Once they got our minds, and who is it, Leopold, that told them how to do it. Once
Hmm.
they got our minds, we're like putty in their hands. They can
Yes.
do anything.
He said they know God already.
Yes.
Yeah, in his
Yeah, yeah.
letter.
He said
They,
they know
we know
because
God already. Don't
we,
talk about God.
we're
Use
connected to
their
God
mind.
so close. We are closely connected to his creation, to his being, to his spirit. We are. So
Yes.
he knows that. So we have a different energy.
Yes.
So when we are in our true essence and they come into our contact, you will see them like, wow, they know it.
They
We
know
don't
it.
know it. They know who we are.
They know
That
who we are. That
that
statement you
we
made earlier, Super Pace, where when you walk down the street looking like you naturally are with your natural hair and your natural essence, they know who we are.
they know who we
They know
are.
who we are. And deep down inside, they are envious of that.
They
They
know
don't
who we
feel
are.
superior to us. That's all a mask. They
If
are envious.
if when they see a black woman, especially a black woman, there's something about that
Mhm.
mitochondrial DNA, that Eve gene that run through our vein. It
Yes.
is powerful. It has the essence of God Himself in it.
Yes.
And when you harness that energy, it's powerful.
Yes.
It's free. It's on a frequency that doesn't even exist. They cannot fathom. It's on a wavelength that they cannot tap into.
And our ancestors knew how to connect that to the universal forces, which For the most part, I don't think we've forgotten, but we have, it's dormant inside of us right now.
It's because we're not tapping. We're not tapping. We have
Yes.
to tap, tap, tap until we could get connected.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you, even us, if I am dressed in plain clothing and I see a black woman and there's an essence and an aura about her, me, myself, I will stop in my frame and I can feel my own energy shift to connect to hers and
Yes.
to
I feel the same
acknowledge
way.
her and to acknowledge her presence and her energy. I'm
Yeah.
telling you. And when we see a black woman and her afro is just in the wind and she is as if she's the only person right there, everything around her seems to start slowing down. And you could feel the wavelength and the energy shifting and changing
Yes.
to accommodate her moving in that space.
Yes.
And
Yes.
they can't help it. They just stop and stare.
They
It's
do.
like a magnet. And I've witnessed this on several occasions in person, and I've seen it in videos on the internet. We just, and especially their children will just charge to us and grab hold. And I'm like, even their children can acknowledge it without even knowing what they're doing. I've seen videos after videos, black women are taking pictures with their afro and their long dress, and their children would just come up, a princess, a princess.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And they're just mind blown away. And they're like, oh, they don't know where to put themselves because we have that energy about us. And when that's why they say remove them from their language, remove them from their
Mm-hmm.
custom, remove them
Remove them
from
from their
their space,
spirituality.
remove them from their spirituality, because we have a close connection to God himself. The
Yes.
living being is within us, and we have that connection with him. So when they remove that away from us, because out of Christianity, despite Christianity, we're spiritual. When you see somebody in church and they're connecting with God, out of, even if you don't acknowledge Christianity, you can acknowledge the connection to God.
Yeah. Well, that's the black
Wherever,
church. That's the black church super
that's the
pace.
black church,
Yes,
and
when they go
wherever
into the
we,
Holy Spirit, quote
yes,
unquote Holy Spirit. Yes.
wherever we are and we choose to connect with God, the space is different. The energy in that space becomes huge and infinite. It's just like there's no, it's infinity and beyond, because we have that in us.
Yes.
We
And the point
have
that
that
you
in
made,
us.
super pace, about we have to gatekeep. We must
Yes.
gatekeep. We think it's bad to gatekeep our culture, but we must gatekeep
No.
it.
Because that's how they infiltrate and harness what
Yes.
we possess. Certain things are off limit. When you go, I go and I visit certain places that is in Chinatown, and there's access denied for certain things.
Mm-hmm.
That's where they worship. That's where
Mm-hmm.
they give offerings, and it is, and I respect that. It is sacred to them,
Yeah,
and it's how they honor their ancestors. And if
they
you
do.
notice, everybody's God looks like them.
And let me just say
Everybody
this. Uh,
Everybody honors their ancestors.
mhm.
We're the only ones who are demonized for doing so.
Like
Exactly.
the
And
only ones who
a lot of,
demonize ourselves when we see our people do it.
yeah, exactly. But a lot of diasporans, especially here in the US, are turning back to the traditions and honoring the ancestors, and they're even looking to, Ifa is the most popular
Popular
spiritual
one, yes.
African tradition here in the diaspora. And
Mm.
they
And
are turning
by
back to some of the practices of Ifa. The thing that I don't like about that is that they keep showing videos of rituals, Ifa rituals that they're doing on the internet, and I don't like that. And I think it takes away the potency of the ritual when you just broadcast it throughout the internet like that.
No, that's what, and that's the thing is, yes, you want to educate your people. Yes, you want to share your stuff, but you have to send the invitation out, and they
Yeah,
come. Send the invitation out. You certain things are to be seen, and certain things are to
things
be
are not to be
unseen.
seen.
It's
Yes,
not to be seen. Certain things are to be spoken, and certain things are not to be spoken. That's why they say the tongue holds life and death is within the tongue. Because certain
hmm,
things you do not speak out there and put it into the atmosphere. Because not
yes.
all energy is good energy.
Not all energy is good energy, and they can take the energy um, that they see you practicing and try and turn it against you.
Ah, they can
Exactly.
manipulate it.
Hmm.
Exactly. And then demonize you for that.
And then
Because
demonize you for that.
they'll put it out there and said, see, they're practicing witchcraft and they're practicing demonic. Um, when you enslave people for 5,500 years and plus, wasn't that demonic? When
Hmm.
you take children and turn them into alligator bait, wasn't that demonic? How
Hmm.
come we're not hearing about that? When
Yeah.
you were hanging my people, lynching
Was
my people,
was that not demonic?
castrating,
When you are using their skin as leather to
yes,
make
Yes, as leather.
putting
Using
their
our hair to
e-
stuff their
exactly.
furniture.
Hmm.
Wasn't that demonic? Nobody's demonizing them for their practice. And trust me, that didn't leave. That just didn't get up and leave. After practicing that for thousands of years, it just didn't get up and leave that the DNA.
No.
It's still there.
Hmm.
It just didn't get up and leave their spirit. It is still there. Some of them, it's latent, it's dormant, but it still is in the DNA of who you
Let me
are.
let me tell y'all something. Let me tell y'all something. So
Hmm.
the Ku Klux Klan here in the United States, they have a ritual that they still practice today of cross burning, and they walk around the cross and invoke the name of Jesus. Now, back in the day when they could easily get away with it, once they completed that ritual, we knew as a people when we saw that cross that somebody was going to die that night. They were taking
Hmm.
human sacrifice at that point. And there
Hmm.
is a video, there's a guy out that I think it was like in 2016, 2017. He did this series called The United Shades of America, and he was an African American man. He actually went and witnessed a cross burning and witnessed them doing this ritual, walking around the cross, and they were invoking the name of Jesus doing this. And
Hmm.
I know if a lot of Christians, Black Christians, saw that, they would they would deny what they were seeing because they're so into Christianity and Jesus is going to come back and save us.
Hmm.
Right.
Because
And if
their
you
practice is,
can
yes,
see that
sorry.
they'll tell you that, oh, the Jesus they are calling it another Jesus. It's not the Jesus that they practice.
Exactly. Yes. So what
Mm.
other Jesus is there? Name sounds the same to me.
I have no idea.
Because when you need to practice your ritual and you need to offer sacrifice, you're not going to sacrifice your own. You're going
No.
to
Mm.
go out and get and sacrifice because they're the ones with the supernatural power. They're the ones with this energy
That you need, or
that
that
we
they
need
need
to
rather.
they need to harness. That's why you
Mm.
see so much of our people go missing. They're harnessing things from them. They're
Yeah.
harnessing parts from them.
And now
They're
I found
harnessing
people
No.
taking
spiritual
and
I
they
I
energy
have so
from
many
them.
stories for you about harnessing the harnessing of energy and taking of parts. And you all know about the medical apartheid here in the United States where they actually
Hmm.
snitched on us.
Hmm.
Yeah,
mm,
there's a university in Baltimore, Maryland called Johns Hopkins University.
I've heard of it.
Yes. We were their lab rats. We were the
Mm-hmm.
lab rats.
Exactly. Modern
Mm-hmm.
gynecology,
Mm-hmm.
lab rats. The AIDS epidemic, lab
Yeah.
rats. The pandemic, lab
Lab
rats.
rats,
The
yes.
Tuskegee experiment with the
Lab
syphilis
rats.
Lab
Yep.
lab rat.
Lab
rats.
rats.
And also, we forget, we may not, it may not be a focal point in our community, but also mental health, lab rats.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why you see, my generation and older were like, we were chastised for not seeking counseling and seeking therapy. But we have to remember that 50 years ago, 80 years ago, psychiatry, there was nobody black into that field.
Mm-hmm.
So how could I go to the
A
group
white
of
person.
to the
Mm.
people who see no value in me to treat my what it's part of the most sacred part of me, and that's my mental health. And also the history is there how they treat their own who are mentally ill. The history behind that is horrific.
Yes.
It's horrific. It's even me, it's heartbreaking for me to read how they treat their own. I'm like, imagine what they did to my people. If this was their own, ah, it's a lot. And you're like, how could we trust that science when we saw it with our own eyes? People
Yeah,
in
so we didn't trust their science, but we did go to church and confess the name of Jesus and ask Jesus to heal.
because that was forcefully
That's the only thing we
indoctrinated.
had.
That was forcefully indoctrinated.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
True slavery that was forcefully indoctrinated. Because make no mistake, we resisted. And that's
Yeah.
why
Oh
in the
yes.
in the
Oh yes.
Caribbean, voodoo still exists, obia still exists. Laws on the books are against this practice
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah. Yeah, we had hoodoo here in the States
in
in
the states, yes,
Louisiana.
in Creole part of the states
Uh-huh.
in Louisiana, it's still there. It survived because we survived. So, and that was how we could look forward to freedom. That's how Haiti got freedom. They said, we're not giving up on the practice that we take with us, and that's to help free us. And that's how they get connected spiritually, and it guides them to freedom. And even till now, it's demonic. They demonize it.
Yes.
You
And I
know
think
what I
that's
mean?
maybe why they really don't like Haiti. I mean, they really don't like any one of us, anyways. But like the way they hammer on Haiti is like when you think
Yeah.
about it, you consider the history of Haiti and how resilient the Haitian people were and still are, though. It's like I think these people have like serious beef with Haiti. They are still very angry at the fact
Oh,
that
they're still so
we
angry. Yes.
had them.
And you
Yeah,
know what?
so
Because there's,
that's why
to
they
my
heavily
knowledge,
them.
there's no book, there's no law on the book that says voodoo is illegal. So they're still free to practice that African tradition.
Oh, and they
Mm,
And
do.
and they do practice that African tradition and that African religion. And it's that energy is it irritates them. It
mm.
irritates them. They can't stand it
Yeah,
because
because it's what
because
got them free.
the mind is free. Ah,
Mm.
okay, okay, all right. We understand each other. They are free. There's a certain freedom that they have with that they can't control. So they're free to express and to connect, and that spiritual energy. It's a gatekeep. It's gate kept. It's you have to. It's invite only, my friend.
Yes.
It's
And that's
invite
the way it
only.
should be.
And that's the way it should be.
Hmm.
You know,
And
there's
that's why they came out with all these movies to demonize voodoo, and they make horror movie of zombies and whatnot. The real zombies, are alive and walking around, snatching up people,
Trying to eat
stringing them
you.
up, snatching up people, cutting them up, snatching up people. How they know how much melanin is worth? How they know how much gram of
Girl.
melanin is worth what? How they
Listen.
harness? How you know to harness melanin? How?
Oh,
How you know how to harness melanin?
Girl.
Damn! How? What possessed you to
even start
to
thinking about harnessing it, extracting it. Like, what were you thinking, and
how?
why were you even thinking
How
about
do
it?
you possess that knowledge?
How do you
What?
even start thinking about something like that? Like,
Oh
how
my
did you
God!
get there? To start
How?
thinking, hmm,
What?
You know
What?
how they observed the ones who had the melanin and saw the power and the strength in their being and deduced that, oh, it must be that stuff that's in their skin, and we want some of that.
Uh huh. But the thing is, you know, as we're speaking and things are revealing themselves as we speak, it's something that they've practiced for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. They've
Yes,
been
it is.
garnering and harvesting energies and bodies and spirits. So it's only natural if you're practicing this ritual that the more you practice it, the stronger it becomes and the stronger you become in that practice. So then things will be revealed to you. So
Mm-hmm.
that's how you know to harness their energy. You know to harness their flesh. You know to harness the, the power that's in the melanin within them
Yeah,
because they've been practicing. We don't know that they've been practicing. They know they've been
they
practicing.
know they've been practicing.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
saw a comment, I think it was by Coco Rose, where she said separation is the key. We have to step away from them. And I truly believe that. I've always believed that there's this movement going on where, oh, interracial marriage, love who you love. I don't think you can love who you love
We
unless
will.
you really and
I
truly love
will. I
yourself.
will reserve. I will reserve my I will reserve my energy on that one.
Yeah, you cannot love who you love unless you love yourself first. And once
Exactly.
you love yourself and you love your people and you love your culture and you love your history, and then you begin to educate yourself about the other people around you and what they've been trying to do, then you will have a completely different perspective
Understanding.
on
Hmm.
intermarrying and mating with them.
I'm
And let
gonna.
me tell you,
Hmm.
intermarrying and mating, and then the offspring of those people come out very confused because I have several relatives who have offspring, and their offspring, their biracial offspring, they're so confused, they're so shamed, they're so guilty, they feel torn. And I would never do that to my child, to have their identity split to such a degree that they fall into depression, that they're not okay with themselves, that they almost hate themselves.
Because when you see it's knowledge of self. It's knowledge of self. When they get the history of who they are as black people and they have the knowledge and they listen to what others have taught them and they understand who they are. And then they go and they do the history of who they are and the history of self as white. And then you see the stark difference between the two. It
hmm,
is conflicting.
Hmm.
yeah.
It is
Yeah,
conflicting. And I'm going to ask you if you've ever noticed this in the workplace or anywhere else, in any public setting, anywhere where there's three or more black people that congregates, it draws their attention.
it does. Yes. And they want to get up in your business and know what you're doing.
Yes. Anytime I'm in the my professional settings and three or more of us are sitting, we could be talking about the most benign stuff, food, the weather. Oh What are you guys doing? I
Mm-hmm.
have I have an individual in that group who said, "None of your business. Keep walking." And I would reply, "Amen, amen, and amen. Ashe, ashe." And it
Ashe.
just no choice. Anytime, wherever, any public setting, any professional setting, three or more of us, yeah. Two, they look. Three and more, especially if it's like five,
Mm-hmm.
it's just like they just grab. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
how are we going to separate? My
Yeah.
friend, just as soon as five of us to come together, they come.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's like, it's even out of their control. They just storm. Somebody has to come,
Yeah.
and one come and leave. The other come and leave. One come and try to sit down, and then we all got quiet, and then we allow them to talk and talk and talk, and then they get quiet, and then we said, okay, and they would just sit there, and then we're like, okay, it's we have no choice now. Okay, bye, because it's like there must be something here. All this energy, it's and it's positive energy.
Mm-hmm.
When we are together and the energy is positive, it's a force to be reckoned with. You ever watch a
There's
video, if there's a video on like IG or YouTube of a sister that says, such and such happened to me, and somebody, a non-melanated, was disrespectful, and black people just start flooding in and flooding in and flooding in and said, "Sis, we're here for you," and black men are like, "Keep your head up," and like
Mm-hmm.
all that positive. They can't help it. They will jump in. They can't help it. They will jump in. They
Mm-hmm.
have to chime in. Whether it's good or bad or indifferent, it's the need to come in.
even
Mm-hmm.
sometimes the conversation might have nothing to do with black people. Like I came by a video a couple of days ago, I think 3 days ago, if I'm being exact here. So this Asian, she's mixed, right? Mixed with Asian and white, and she was talking about how growing up, Korean, to be specific, the Asian she's mixed with, and she was talking about how growing up, the Korean children that were in the environment of school where she grew up used to make fun of her, saying that she dances or acts like white people, like a typical white person, right? So she made this video talking about that, and she referenced a certain characteristic traits that white people tend to display when they dance and how they open their mouths funny. And a couple multiple videos she used, when multiple people in dancing videos she used, and the white people all tend to do the same kind of like mouth opening gesture. And it was just this fun thing. It had nothing to do with black people. She was talking about her experience as a mixed person that was teased growing up by Korean kids, say, "Oh, you are a typical white person," right? And then in the comments, you will find white people saying they're pissed now because they feel like, oh, they're making fun of them. So you find them in the comments saying, "Oh, do the same for black people." And then she made a video. I said I was going to make a video on this, but I don't know if I really, if I still will, right? And she made a video talking about how confused she is by the actions of white people, where nothing would the conversation is not about black people. It's about her as a mixed Korean and white woman. But somehow there are white people in her comments talking about black people. And she says she cannot understand this behavior that white people have.
Listen.
It's just very fascinating because like the conversation could literally sometimes they do it. If they're not doing it with like black people in quotes, they'll be like, do for Africans.
Hmm. It
It
could be about breathe. Do
it could be
African
about
breathe.
yes, it could be it could be and you'll be so surprised like when they say we live in their heads rent free,
Yes.
we just
Or
do.
Yes.
you are, as a black person, you're never alone.
Yeah.
No, you're not. You're not. There's somebody
Because
thinking
they always
about
in your
you, there's
business.
somebody looking at you. They're always in your business. It's crazy. It's a sick obsession that they have. But there's one thing I wanted to bring up now that we're having this conversation. Like, I'm really enjoying this. Me that say I want to be here for 1 hour. Look at me, I'm here for 3 hours. Hey, um,
Wow. Yes, it's 3 hours.
3 hours, and I said I was going to be here for just 1 hour, but look at me now. Anyways, I'm enjoying it being here. There's something I've noticed. This I don't know if to call it. I don't know what to call it exactly, but how it just so happened that somehow for the higher percentage, I would say, it doesn't matter where black people are located. Somehow, if they are not, if their talent is not their the thing that is being that is drawing attention to them, they are somehow always located in places that are like mineral resources rich. Like I think about it, how did it happen that a group of people were taken from the continent, which is a rich place, right? Mineral resource wise now speaking. And then they were taken to another land in Haiti. And it just so happened that that land too is rich with resources.
Mm.
And then I think about how, there are this other group of, you know, black people that are in Papua New Guinea, where they are situated. They are not in Africa. Somehow that place has resources and they are suffering because of it. Like, how is it that we just tend to get located in places, whether we're once like always ever always there, or we moved down there, or we were taken there, somehow there is something there.
There's always something where we go.
Yeah.
It
Yes.
is who we are. It is
Yeah.
who. That's why I tell you, we are connected to the divine creator in a way no one else is.
Yes.
We are connected to this earth. If you go to wherever you go, where it's predominantly black, because I travel, and if I go to one country where it's predominantly black, I feel like I'm in,
Hmm.
say, Jamaica, or I see a picture of a country in a city or a city in Mali, and I feel connected there. I
Mm-hmm.
see the Sahara Desert. I feel a connection there. I
Mm-hmm.
see somewhere in South Sudan, and I feel a connection there. You
Yes.
visit
Yes.
anywhere. If you travel from one country in the continent to the other, you feel a connection there.
Absolutely. Because
Wherever
you are
we,
connected there.
yes, we are rooted to this planet. They tried
Hmm.
to get rid of us for centuries, but we just keep just coming back.
We
We are
keep coming back.
connected to this planet. We're not going anywhere. Anywhere I go, and there's a lot of black people there, I feel spiritually connected. I'm watching videos of certain countries in on the motherland, and I feel spiritually connected.
Oh my
I
gosh.
I
Yes.
there's a song that is going around. It's in Swahili. And I tell you, I don't understand the words, but I understand
You
the feeling.
yes.
It vibrates an energy
Yes.
inside
You
me that
understand the
makes me feel
vibration of it.
different.
Yes.
It makes me feel different. My frequency is different. I feel I'm in a different space when I listen to this music. The tone of the voice, the clicking that's subtly in there also. I am spiritually connected to it because I am connected to this earth. And the Eve genes that is in my mitochondrial DNA permits me to have a connection that no one else has.
Hmm.
And that's why you could you could be going about your business and you make eye connection with somebody who doesn't speak your language, doesn't look like your tribe or your whoever the whoever you come from, but there you look at them and you're like, ah, I see you. Because
Yes.
spiritually we're connected.
Look,
Yeah.
ladies, I have one last story, and then I'll keep my mouth shut. Last year, November of last year, I was on the continent. I was in South Africa, and I went to the very tip of the motherland. It was like the southernmost tip. It's called Cape Lagullis. And there I prayed. It's where the Indian Ocean and the Atlantic Ocean meet.
Mm.
That
Okay.
Oh my
Okay.
God, it was so spiritual and so beautiful. And I prayed and I put my feet on in the water on the Indian Ocean side and then went to the Atlantic Ocean side and dipped my feet there. And then when I prayed, I had my eyes closed. And when I opened my eyes, my tears fell into the water.
Hmm.
And it was just like my ancestors are here. And then these guys came out with these long, like animal-like horns and blew them. And my guide, my tour guide told me, "Do you know what they're doing, Mama?" And they called me Mama because I'm an elder. I'm in my
Mm-hmm.
They said, "Do you know what they're doing, Mama?" And I said, "What are they doing?" And they said, "They are calling the ancestors." And I'm like, "Shoot, that's exactly what I just did." And then
Mm.
the rest of my trip, it was like everybody could see my ancestors all around in my aura. And they would come up to me and say, "Mama, you're welcome here. This is your home. Your ancestors are pleased." I mean, that was it. I didn't need nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. My
That's
heart exploded with so much joy.
that's powerful.
Mm-hmm. It is. Because we're connected. We're
We
connected.
did.
So when we touch the soil of the motherland, there is a sigh of, yes, I have survived. Your ancestors, like, yes, I am living. I am still here. I am still born to this land. And you are the presence of who I am. So it's just a connection. It goes very deep. It goes very deep.
It does go
And
very
that's
deep.
why my friend, she told me there was when her sister went to Benny, her sister or cousin, I don't remember. She said, even the people they don't speak, you don't speak their native language, they don't speak your language. The welcoming spirit that is there is overwhelming.
Mm,
It's
yes,
overwhelming.
that's what I felt.
She said you will feel it, and she's from 80, so she said a lot of Asians are from Benin. And she said
Mm,
when she sees them, she said, I see my people. They
mm-hmm,
act like my people.
mm-hmm,
They look like me.
mm-hmm,
They are, and she was like so excited. She said her, it wasn't her, but it was a relative of her telling her, they look like us. They are us. Their
mm-hmm,
manners, their mannerism, it's us. And she was like, oh my goodness. When they look at me, it's like I could feel the acceptance. It's like, yes,
Mhm.
we know who you are. You're us. That's it.
mm-hmm.
And it's always nice when you have that experience. I mean, I know mine cannot exactly be compared to like how it would be for our brothers and sisters in the diaspora when they come over, but I felt the same way when I went to Kenya. Like that's the first time ever I'm leaving my country. That was last year, right? So I went to Kenya, and it was so nice
Mm,
to
yes.
to be in the presence of like a different group of Africans, and they were so welcoming. I remember the experience I had with the first taxi driver that eventually became the only taxi driver I used,
Mm,
because he was just a very nice, kind man, entertaining, fun, and oh my, it was just so nice. Like
mm-hmm,
experiencing different kind of Africans like that, like the way they speak. And oh my goodness, if you listen to Kenyans in real life when they speak, their voice so soothing. It doesn't matter
mm-hmm,
whether it's man or woman. When you hear them speak, just their voice alone is like, you know,
And it's
soothing.
welcoming.
And it's
mm-hmm,
welcoming. Yes, it's calm. It gives you peace. Just being like, no, the peace I had, like this is so unreal. I really liked it. So I wish more people could experience that.
Yes.
It was very
Yes.
But slowly, we in the West are realizing that that deceitful, deceptive lie that we are not connected to Africa, that we should be ashamed, that we should hide that we belong there and that we're connected there. It's unveiling, and it's falling off of us, and it's crumbling, and we're it's more and more as our brothers and sisters on the continent show on Twitter and YouTube and IG what Africa really looks like. And you're like, the yearning to be there is intensifying more and more. And you look in the comment section, oh, I can't wait to visit. Oh my God, I wish I could be here. Oh, I'm leaving this Babylonian system and I'm never coming back. The minute I leave there, I'm never coming back. That's it's all in the comment section,
Mm-hmm.
how they can't wait to go, and they're the ones who have come back said, oh, I can't wait to go back because the next time I go, I don't think I'm coming. The calling, there's certain things that are happening. I'm telling you, it's unfolding, and it's not yet to the naked eyes, but it's coming, because there's going to be a yearning and a desire to go home that will intensify, that even if we want to stay here, we won't be able.
Yeah.
We won't. When I see these videos of the motherland, the yearn, it's like it plants there and then it grows and grows and getting stronger. I'm telling you, mm, let me not say anything else, because the desire to go home and stay home, it's already in full swing. It's
Yeah.
it's
I
it's
think so.
it's cultivated already. It's there already. It is there, and I'm not the only one. I
Yeah.
am
You're not.
like more and more and more. I see it in the comment sections, in videos. Hear people talking about it. People just people from my country just get up and just like take a plane and said, I'm going to see if I'm coming back or not. They're going not to visit, they're going to see if they're going to stay there and don't
Mm-hmm.
come back.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, EVA, I want to thank you for work that you do, and just opening up your heart and just broadcasting to all of us here in the diaspora that you young people, the young generation, all of you are opening up your arms and opening up your hearts and your minds to those of us here to come home. And you're inviting us to come home. And I think that's so beautiful.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
We love it.
Yes.
And I'm a big fan. I'm a big supporter of the work you do.
Thank you. I appreciate you. I really, really do. Thank you very
Thank you.
much to
Thank you.
everybody.
We appreciate you, because it's not easy work.
It's not. It's not. And I didn't know I was subscribed to you for such a long time, because I was looking at my subscription and it says I started with your channel. I subscribed to your channel since 2016.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I think 2016 was when that's not when you subscribed. 2016 was when I created the channel, but
Okay.
I did not start posting anything till 2021 thereabouts.
Okay. All right.
2020,
I thought that was a bit strange because it was like 2016. I've been subscribed for that long.
No, 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 no.
I know I've been
That was
watching you
the
for a
year
while.
the channel was created, but it was
Okay.
inactive for a very long time till like
Okay.
2020,
Gotcha.
2021. Yeah.
Normally, I have to watch a video, uh, uh, um, a creator for minimum for at least 3 months because I need to know that you and I think alike.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
You may say something that I agree with, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm gonna listen to this person. But
mm,
I like to listen because the way I think and what I believe and how I think certain things, it has to align with the creator I'm really gonna support full
okay.
on. And I think by the time I watch your second video, I subscribe. And
Oh,
I
that
don't
was
normal. That was fast.
Mm-hmm.
That was fast. I was like, bingo. Because I watched your first video and I was like, interesting. And then I watched another video and I was like, okay, I don't need to hear anything else.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm supporting this young lady.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've
And
been
thank
I
you.
never
listening for a
stop.
while.
I
Mm-hmm.
never stop.
Thank you. I
And
appreciate.
especially when I see that you were getting a lot of pushback and you stand firm on what you believe and your stance. And I'm like, okay, she's unwavering. This is what she believes. This is what the message she's putting out there. And she's not backing down.
Yeah.
And I respect her for that. I do. I appreciate you for that. I respect you for that.
Thank you.
And you're teaching the younger ones and you're reaching them and they're listening to you and you're like, you know what? Ivy's right. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Because I check your comment section and you're like, thank you. I didn't know that. Thank you for teaching me that. They're listening to your voice is important and you're reaching the people. Because as I said, I would a lot of the news, a lot of important news that's on the continent, um, I would not have known if people like yourself wasn't putting out the information out there. From other channels like the African Diaspora and the
Hmm.
Merc and you put me onto the Merc. Thank you, and I I wouldn't know. I, there's no news outlet that's giving me information what's happening in Congo.
Hmm.
It's coming from you, a very and people that is in Congo that are on TikTok. Other
Yeah.
than that, the news outlet is it's like they don't care about that. That's not a priority. That is not a priority. So again, we are all we got. It's it's the reality of life. It's not sad because in my house, I'm gonna look out for my family before I look out for the neighbor. It's
Yeah.
natural. I'm gonna make sure that my doors are sealed and my family inside is protected. Me and my husband, we're gonna make sure that our children are safe. I can't expect the neighbor to do that for me because they're busy doing that for their family. So
Hmm.
it is our job to do that for us. It's we can only do it for us. We can't
Yes.
no we cannot expect for thousands and thousands of years being used and abused and then expect the same people to deliver us, to give us grace, to be kind, to be loving. I'm not saying everybody's hateful. That's not what I'm saying. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying collectively, only you can love me and I can love you.
Yeah.
That's how I see it. That's how I
Yeah.
see it.
Yeah. And stop giving them grace. They don't deserve any more grace. So, we're
We don't
supposed
get any grace. We don't
we
get
don't
any
get
grace.
grace. We don't get grace. So
When a
stop
black
giving them grace for
no, when a black
the
woman do something
atrocities that they
wrong,
do.
it's all black women. When a black man does something wrong, it's all black
Oh,
men.
black men.
And it's when you hear how they speak about the continent and the lies that they're trying to embed into everybody, not just us, but everybody. And then you look and you see the same people stealing from the continent. You're like, ah, I can't anymore. It said to James Baldwin said it best: to be black in America is to be in a state of perpetual anger.
Anger.
It is. It is. I have this internal rage that, is constantly boiling and underneath the surface.
And I'm like, I'm, and it was when I started to like understand what is really going on. And I said, you know what? Because there's so much divide and bickering amongst us, I said, you know what? I'm gonna take that energy and just love on my people. And even when they talk about them in a negative light, I'm gonna say, yeah, it may not be the most flattering thing, but I still love my people. Because trust me, I don't see anybody outing their uncle that's in the Ku Klux Klan. I
No.
don't see anybody outing their great great grandfather that was lynching. They're not doing
No,
it.
they'll
And
tell
they
you they
know.
never had anybody like that in their family.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow all
They
of these
don't.
things happen, but none of them are related to the people that did it.
Exactly. You mean to tell me that none of these people that were lynching, that were going around doing all these things, none of them have great great grandchildren? All lies. They're not naming them. They will never name them because
Never.
they're still alive today. They're not going to name them. They won't name them. Never. They will not name. But they expect you to point out the bad ones among you.
Of
When you
course.
start showing me the Ku Klux Klan member in your family, when you start showing me your great great grandfather, the list of the slaves, the list of my people that he enslaved, when you start showing me all the things that you guys are hiding in your great great grandfather's basement, when you start doing that, then maybe I'll think about it.
See, let me
Otherwise,
tell you,
no.
a sister posted a video on TikTok a couple of days ago, and so she does like all these spiritual works. I don't know if that's the right term to use, but you know, and a white lady reached out to her wanting to do some spiritual like consultation. Right, it's a black sister that does this spiritual consultation thing, and then so this white lady reached out to this sister, and this sister, because that's what she does, I guess she took on the job. I don't know if I can call it the job, right? So she wanted to reach out to this white lady's ancestors. She said at first she was like thinking, oh, like I'm not sure exactly what you would want to do with those kind of ancestors, but since you want to connect with them so badly, let me try. According to
Always.
Wow.
this sister, she tried to like spiritually connect to the ancestors, right? And to see if maybe there is any good one there in the ancestry. And she said all she saw were racist racist white enslavers, like just terrible people. That's her lineage. And she came back when she came to, and she told the lady, see and see and see, I could not contact anybody good that you could use for any spiritual work. And because these are the flashes, these are the kind of image flashes that I got trying to connect to your ancestors. And the white lady got pissed and hung up the phone. Not wanting to even
Oh well,
acknowledge, like,
get pissed
like
at your ancestors. Don't get pissed at her.
I, you can just imagine, like, oh, like what were you expecting was going to be there? But the reason why I'm even bringing this story up is because the reason I'm bringing what is happening.
Hello?
Hello.
Okay. So
Sorry,
the reason,
phone was
the
dying
reason,
and I had to run to get a charger.
okay. The reason I brought this up is because earlier we were talking about how they don't want to acknowledge what was done in the family. This white lady could have sat through the conversation and said, yes, this happened. Is there any other way? Or maybe try to like, talk about it, like what can be done now. But she ran, according to how this the sister told the story, like she doesn't even want to do it. Like Just to acknowledge that I have that self is a problem. Like she heard it and she said nothing and she just ended the call. Like, let's not talk about me having that in my family and or in my ancestry, that kind of like vibe.
But
So even up to now, they just don't want to, they don't want to accept it. They don't want to accept it. They don't want to talk about it. Let's pretend like it never happened. Maybe it might really seem like it never did. Pretend
Yeah.
like I
Well,
that.
that's why they want to ban books here in the U.S. That
Yeah,
talk about slavery.
yes.
it
Hmm.
never happened. It
It
never
never
happened.
happened.
Mm-mm.
I don't have that. Oh, you tried to go to the spirit realm and you saw my ancestors and they were terrible people. That's not true.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
They,
That's
they,
the
they they don't
problem.
want. They don't want to.
I'm sorry. Go
But
ahead.
I don't understand. It's funny. They're they're always coming to black people to enter the spiritual realm.
Because they can't themselves.
They want to connect with our ancestors, which that is a F around and find out situation right there.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
A big one too.
And
You,
you know
uh,
you hear them saying things like, "Oh, it doesn't matter the spirit realm, like the ancestors are."
Yeah. Spirit is spirit. It doesn't matter.
hmm,
You've dropped the body.
it
It's
is.
spirit. It's all energy. Anyone can connect to it. I'm like, what are you saying?
It is the. It
They'll
is
be
the.
talking about going to Africa. You see them making some of their videos, like the delusion is crazy. Talking about it going to Africa so you can connect to the spirit in the land.
Uh, uh, mm,
Which
Wow.
land are you talking about? The same land I know that maybe there is another Africa I'm not aware of because it cannot be this one you're talking about. Like,
mm,
oh, the spirits are not these black people are raised to the sis, the spirits are not raised to the sis. The spirits you want to access,
mm,
where you don't want people.
mm.
What
Hmm.
what did
Exactly.
the people do to these spirits when they were once people? You think, oh, because that is the spirit realm now, all of a sudden they've forgotten, they can't remember what happened.
You know what I say when I watch this video? I say,
Hmm.
why don't they want to connect to my ancestor, me? Because that will be the biggest F around and find out of their
Oh,
life.
yeah. Your
But it's the
ancestors.
obsession to connect, it's the obsession to harness our energy in any way, shape, or form.
Hmm.
Even to their own detriment, they will do it. Because you put out a video here where this white gentleman was saying, "Oh, it's not an invite. Anybody could practice. You could do whatever you want." I'm like, okay, no, don't discourage him. This is a free world.
Mm-hmm.
Let him explore
Mm-hmm. Let
Yeah.
it find out.
and find out.
Yeah, they tell them the world is their oyster. Let go and find out.
Go and find out,
Mm.
please, and report back to us. We want to know.
If you live to report,
Okay.
if you live to see another day.
Hmm.
Oh my days.
They don't care. They keep doing it.
That story of the lady who wanted to summon an African spirit to hurt an African American lady.
Oh, yeah.
Can
Yeah, I
you
That story
saw
imagine?
will
that.
never stop being funny to me because I'm like, you cannot be serious. She literally wanted to colonize the spirit.
But the thing is, our ancestors know what you did to us. Then you're gonna go to them and said, "I want to harm those who survive through you." Madness, madness,
Mm-hmm.
madness. When I leave and I go to the spirit world, I want them to connect to me.
I swear down.
Please encourage them to come and connect to me. Tell them to come and at my grave to come see me.
Oh my
Let's
goodness.
see what kind of experience they have.
That was why I said in that video that they should go and they should come and ask certain Africans that if they when they finally die and they make it to the spirit world, the ancestral realm, they should ask these Africans now that they are alive if they would want to help them from there.
Me personally, I want them to come and conjure my spirit. Tell them to encourage them.
Super Face, would you
And
got something for them?
oh, I got something for them. I got something for all of them.
Got something for them.
All of them. All
Oh
of
my
them.
goodness.
They mama them. They mama them. I got.
They
I
mama
got
them.
some for
Yep.
all of them. They daddy on all of them. Come wake me up. Tell me I need to fix anybody alive looking like me. Come. Disturb my rest for that. And then they will truly F around and find out.
Oh my god.
Nonsense.
This has been so fun. This has been so fun. But unfortunately, it has to come to an end.
One day we will all meet in person.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yes.
That would be so nice.
Mm,
Hmm.
that would be so nice.
That would be so nice, honestly. Oh,
Yes.
but nothing is impossible as long as we still have breath in our lungs.
That's right.
Can make it happen.
Definitely.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yep.
It's so late here. I have to say good night,
All
good day,
right.
Thank
goodbye.
you, thank you
All
so
right.
much.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you
for this
very
beautiful
much.
conversation.
Oh,
And I
I appreciate it as
thank all
well.
your listeners.
This was lovely.
My
Thank
golden life again. Ashley,
Yes,
my
my
sister,
dear.
queen.
you.
Thank you.
Thank
Night,
you, Super
night.
Cool.
Evie, thank you so much again.
Thank you,
Have a good
Vivian.
evening.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Bye
Everybody have a
bye.
good evening. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye. Let me see. I have some of these super chats. Dajuan Menzi, thank you very much. He says, "Oh wow, this guy is talking about raising your vibrations and the spiritual realm." I think he was talking about what was his name again? I've forgotten. This is what happens when I don't read this thing in real time. Thank you very much, Dajuan, for the super chat. I don't know if there's any other, but I definitely do need to acknowledge. Oh, Dajuan again. Um, Dejuan, thank you. He says again, I think the reason African people are constantly being under attack is because we are spiritually connected to the spiritual realm. Hmm. Yeah. That still goes in line with all that we've been saying since, right? Super pace. Is she still here? I don't know if there's any other. So let me just quickly check before I leave. Oh my goodness. So many people in the chat. Thank you very much, guys, for coming up and joining this conversation. Thanks to everybody who came up to add their 2 cents. Thank you for everyone who had the conversation in the chat going. I really appreciate each and every single one of you. Before I step out, I just want to check if there is any other super chat here. Um, okay, I don't think there is another. Start. Okay. Oh, I found one. Ismail. Thank you very much. Ismail says for the conversation. Sis Coco Rose got me fired up. She came with the energy, didn't she? She was like really hitting it there. Came a bit late to the discussion, but wants to show love on behalf of the family in the US NYC. Thank you very much, Ismail. Um, Med J Commander, thank you very much. Thank you very much for the super chat. And lastly, we have Kinder Lynch. Thank you very much, Kinder Lynch. I appreciate all of this, and I appreciate all of you. Okay, I think we've come to the end. Oh, let me say goodbye. It's so late here right now, and you will not even believe the time. It's past one. This is 1:34, and I need to go to bed because tomorrow busy day. So, but anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. Do have a lovely. I think we've entered the weekend now, but tomorrow is okay. Rather, today is Friday. Yes. So yeah, weekend things. I'll see you guys next time I post a video. Bye. Oh.